Welcome, everyone. Apparently, I was summoned here against my will to perform on this cunt stream. I am Magog, and joining me are Failure, the Wizard of Course, and these other two people I do not know.
I'm okay with that.
All right, then.
All right, so
Hey, guys.
as you can tell, we're missing my two co-hosts, the people who keep these streams actually working tonight. So I guess I'll do what I should be doing as the fucking host and introduce my guests. We've got Failure Accomplished over here. Say something about yourself, Con.
Hey, I'm Failure Accomplished, and I have a high school that hates my guts, so that's a plus. That's an accomplishment, I think. I do live streams and the occasional video every 3 to 6 months.
All right, and the one with the vag and the mask.
This is the bad idea. I pre-drank before this stream, and I'm never doing it again.
All right, that would be Little Miss Anonymous. She does very, very, very short videos, which I know are good for you cunts with your short attention spans. Not sure why I repeated both of those things 3 times. It seemed a little unnecessary in hindsight, but the next guy, Magog, the Wizard.
Yes, I have a channel. I am Magog of Morskar. A necromancer has used his forbidden magic to open a window into our world and is seeing it for the first time in all its glorious stupidity.
And
nice
finally, I just realized I called Magog the Wizard. We also have Wizard of Cause. Say something about yourself.
I'm pretty sure you all know who I am.
Yeah, it's a fair assumption. I'm pretty sure any viewers we have are because of you.
Well, I just like the ability to just throw that particular vocal affectation out from time to time. So, hello, everyone.
Hey,
Yes.
Liz.
Flexing the ego is always a good thing.
I like your
voice.
little flaming crown graphic you have in your videos.
Yeah, that's Robin Gething's work, actually. That whole avatar thing, it began as Red Dragon, I believe. Did this wire outline for it. Then my buddy Marshall, after bitching at me to get it finished, decided to just fill it in and finish it. And then Robin Gething picked it up, and I asked him actually initially just for a sort of shimmering halo behind the horns kind of thing, like a Hellboy deal. And he just kept going to fucking town on it. Like first it was the halo thing, and then it was, oh, I'm gonna add a background, and then behind the background I'm gonna add another background with blowing grass and a thunderstorm, and then I'm gonna put a fire off to the side of it, and I've got real light affectations here. I'm like, oh, thanks, Robin. That's one hell of a halo.
All I wanted was something simple. That's what happens. What happens when you get in bed with a graphics designer. They just I'm gonna fucking go all out.
Oh yeah, no, he's more than just a graphic designer. He's actually a very talented CG artist. I've seen some of his work on some indie films and the like, and especially when he explained how it was a rush job, I was looking at these things like, I don't know the first thing about how you put these together, but to me, it's pure. It's like you're just a wizard, you know. Undoomed, similar. Undoomed actually. Like his CG work is his own.
Yeah.
What I hate about Undoomed is I always thought like this was his full-time job, and he's like, no, this is just my hobby.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, he's an editor. He's not even a fucking CGI artist.
Oh really? I thought he was a CGI artist. So
No.
Well, I say just an editor when in fact that's like one of the most important things in a film. So.
Yeah. He's a cool dude, man.
Yeah.
Thanks to Failure, I got to talk with him.
Oh, Undoom's a great guy, and the nice thing is too is he's really like that. He could hit 1 million subscribers tomorrow, and he wouldn't change at all. He would not like. He'd still be the same, really affable, very nice, very warm, welcoming kind of dude. And it's funny because if you ask anybody who he'd normally call a fucking moron, they'd probably think he was as much the fucking great Satan as Bearing.
you would still be like, "Hey, Undoomed is 5 o'clock in the morning. I need to go to sleep, man."
It's funny, they're both really sweet. Like, Barry makes rounds on small channels. I know he's been here before. He was on my channel before, and he doesn't need to do that.
He was my 9th subscriber, and I was like, "Oh, shit."
Wow.
No, Bering's a good cunt. There's good people. By and large, most people I found in these circles are good people, with a few exceptions.
He was my 9th
They
subscriber.
don't pretend well enough to be nice, though.
He was my 9th subscriber and on my first stream.
Nice.
Yeah, I have yet to have the privilege to talk with the Baron, but I've been a fan of his for a while.
The thing with Baron right now is that sometimes he could be a little bit flaky in the sense like to get a hold of him is kind of hard. And then like it'll be like 5 o'clock in the morning your time, and he'll be like, "Hey, want to come on my channel for a stream?"
Yeah, I've woken up to a few messages I got like, "Hey, you feel like streaming?" Like, why are you messaging me at like 5:45 in the morning from your make believe time zone? Because as far as I'm concerned, anything that's not Eastern Standard Time is it's imaginary. I'm not a solipsist, I swear to God. I'm just here chatting with myself and several projections from my inner subconscious.
Yeah, I told Undoomed when he had me on, like, it was just me and him till like 6 a.m. And finally, I was just like, dude, I gotta go. God isn't up this early. Like, I gotta fucking go, man.
Guys, I get up at 4 a.m. for work, you wieners.
Frederick Stewart in the chat just said, "I felt super special when I saw Failure followed me." Like, that's the way I felt with like when Undoom followed me, and then I talked to him, and it's like, yeah, he's just a fucking regular dude, and I'm a fucking loser. So
yeah, it's. I mean, like the thing I found when it comes to YouTube too, especially when it comes to like bigger channels and the like, if you meet somebody with a big channel and they act like somebody who has a big YouTube channel, that's basically that's a war. That's just a cunt. That's a cunt of a person because they've sort of lost their fucking bearing. But I'm dumb tisk. But yeah, I mean, you meet certain people and they're just normal ass people, and then other people, they let the fame go to their heads to the point where, they think, oh well, my subscriber. Fuck, Paul Joseph Watson recently. This was just emblematic of what I was trying to make a point with. So Rebel Media, everyone's favorite, rebellious source for news media, like, don't trust those other guys, trust us. We don't have an agenda. Okay, fine. But yeah, they cite Prison Planet. Is he Prison Planet or is he InfoWars? I think he's InfoWars. Anyway, they cited
Prison Planet, I think.
Yeah, they cited Prison Planet. So I subtweeted it saying, so Prison Planet, so Rebel Media is citing Prison Planet as a source who is probably citing some guy in his DMs as a source, and everybody just eats it up as alternative media. Then a week and a half later, because dude was clearly just name searching or something, he comes back and his reply, his rebuttal to my point about media being in such a shit state of affairs is 660,000 views. Ha ha ha. Trigglypuff. Like, I couldn't ask you for more. Thank you, Paul, for showing me exactly what you were about and what your punk rock media outlet is about. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's, what is it? I mean, we've got Destiny, who's recently just sort of embodied the notion of a cunty new media starlet who just thinks that their position is definitive of their overall gravitas in the universe.
What I love is like recently Rucka Ali started following me, so I was like, oh, let me DM him and see if he would ever be interested. He was like, yeah, all right, when? So did a stream with him, and it was pretty cool. So I figured that's the last time I hear from him. Then I went on Mocha's stream, and she was like, yeah, if you're so good with Rucka, why don't you just tell him to come on here right now? So I was like, all right, let me try. I messaged Rucka. He's like, oh, I'm not home, but I could get home in 25 minutes.
Yeah.
Will you still be on, please?
I never even knew who Mocha... that's not Mocha. I never even knew who Rucka was until Jeff introduced me to his work. Mm-hmm. And, yeah, apparently there was a plan, because we're going out to VidCon in the summer. And we're going as the YouTube villains. It's going to be Jeff, myself. I think Kraut's going to come and try and make it there. And we were supposed to sort of cap the event off when we're inevitably kicked out, probably with a police escort. And we were gonna cap it off with a party at Rucka's house, but I guess that ended up getting a little sidetracked because he had some other shit going on.
What is VidCon?
I'm
new.
It's a YouTube convention, pretty much. I mean, like Anthony Fantano, for instance, is going to be doing, I think, like a Q&A panel there, and VidCon promoted him, saying he's more relevant than Rolling Stone at this point. So earlier, he's like, "Damn, you guys really went all in on this, huh?"
But he is like fucking. When's the last time you fucking followed Rolling Stone for their advice on music?
Well, what was the last thing that was really big about Rolling Stone?
That terrorist cover.
I Stand with Zion. Wait, no, I'm confusing two other irrelevant stories that people totally misread.
Last Rolling Stone thing I remember was the Boston Bomber. They put him on the cover.
Let's be honest. Well, let's be honest. Fucking Rolling Stone hasn't meant a goddamn thing since Hunter Thompson killed himself. So,
but yeah, the cool thing is just, you know, guy with 600,000 subscribers, and it's like fucking whatever. He's like encouraging smaller YouTubers to fucking just go out there and try their fucking best to, you know, do this for a fucking living. While it seems like the bigger guys are like, I don't want to give anybody a chance because they're gonna take the spotlight away from me.
I mean, it's different with every other person. I mean, I know some people who just really like helping smaller channels that they enjoy grow. And then there are others who prefer to sort of keep like a small cadre of people in their pocket, let's say. You know, it's like sort of their own sort of go-to panel, like, oh, right, well, as you know, as president of this particular YouTube club, I, you know, think this. Oh, yeah, boss, yeah, okay. Yeah.
I think what Wizard is saying is he's not going to be advertising any of us soon.
I don't know.
Not in the quick.
Well, no, you see, you have to remember when it comes to like that kind of thing, it's really like when I find like my last update, which I've decided for the record too, just so everyone's aware, like when I hit 20K, don't expect a 20K video. But when I hit like 21.68 thousand, then I'll make a celebratory video because I realize counting by 5s or 10s is as irrelevant as any other number. And since numeric milestones in that case are ultimately irrelevant and arbitrary, why not just make them fully irrelevant and arbitrary? So the 26.285 thousand subscriber mark, you know, that's gonna be an event. And, you know, drink a whole bottle of Evan Williams on camera. Fuck it, why not?
I don't think I'll
that's
ever
an
reach
event
that
for you, drinking a whole bottle of booze on stream.
I know I'd be breaking new ground with that one, wouldn't I?
That's every live stream.
When did you start going on camera?
I started going. That was my first video outside of the interview I did for like one of my old publishers, which is the first video on my channel. The first couple videos I did were on camera.
Because I had always known you for the avatar, and then all of a sudden I come back to your channel and I see you're using more video than avatar.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I started going into like, I had this, when I moved into this place, I got this, you know, this living room, which is kick-ass to begin with. And this is like, I was coming out of living on a couch and working out of a basement. And I had this weird, my living room has this closet, right? This like double wide sliding door closet, which strangely enough has another closet inside of it. I don't get it. But I realized, yeah, right. Well, I realized that the smaller one inside would be perfect for an audio recording booth. So when I'm getting some soundproofing, going to soundproof that, and that's going to be an actual isolation chamber. But then I realized my friend who's been hooking up most of my audio equipment, he handles my levels for recording and shit because it's all a mystery to me. Yeah, he's a bass player, which tells you how much he can chimp out about a single like audio artifact in a given recording. Well, he comes over with a full-on mic stand, maybe 30 feet worth of XLR cables, a Tascam 1800, all this different shit, and then these full can stage lights which he mounts to the wall. And truth be told, I didn't even ask him to. He just started doing this, and I was like, okay, fine. And after that, I realized, well, I got lighting, might as well give it a try. And yeah, after that, also I discovered standing up. If you're gonna give like, at least this works for me. If you're gonna rant like just off the top of your head, either you're over caffeinated or you're drunk or both or whatever, or just angry. Standing up helps. I find it really helps. And so yeah, I just started doing it that way. I mean, I've gone back to the avatar recently because I don't want to look like I'm reading a script to people.
I found a way around that because all my stuff is really scripted.
Sunglasses.
But I didn't want to like fucking look like I was reading a teleprompter or whatever. So I was like, I'll just give my character dead eyes. So I ordered the contact lenses and turn my whole eye white.
No,
it's just like fuck it.
Oh, you haven't seen Magog stuff, Wiz?
no, I can't say I have.
He goes fucking full character as a wizard.
Oh, I'll be
through a portal of our world.
I'll likely be
Yeah,
watching.
I gotta say, Magog's probably the most entertaining out of the 5 people here.
Well, probably I'll be watching and subscribing to everyone's shit. I mean, Failure is probably the only person I'm immediately familiar with.
Yeah, you
I
got
very obviously read from a script if you watch any of my videos.
Oh, your last one was real bad, cunt. You can see that going back and forth.
I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it.
to give you a little heads up, Wiz.
Oh, I thought you were gonna pop the eyes in.
Yeah, my last video I grew tits. So have fun with that.
Okay.
It can't be as bad as do you cunts know very nearly viral?
Yeah. Oh my god, the last video they uploaded was awesome.
Jesus fucking Christ.
I was half expecting you to ask if any of us knew who Garrett was as we were speaking about man's tits and such. Because
I mean,
Jeff,
he has the best man tits of all.
no, I mean, at first I thought it was just a joke, but Jeff just keeps going off about how he just wants to tit fuck Garrett. So I'm thinking it's real like bucket list item for him now.
I've streamed with Garrett before. My god.
I haven't had a chance to stream with him yet. I was on with Mikey and Tim, but not Garrett yet.
I loved him, honestly. I think he's everyone's favorite frenemy.
Which one's that?
Tim Blake, demotivator opinion. Yeah, I mean,
Tim's one of the more reasonable ones. He may have some.
But he's also got a sense. He's also got a sense of humor.
Yeah, he's a funny cunt.
Yeah, he's funny, and he's not afraid to actually admit when he's wrong about something. I mean, there's a whole. I remember one of the transgender issues that came up a while back, and he and I kind of got into an argument about it. And I brought up the fact that I don't know a single genuinely trans person, and I'm talking the kind of person who's lived with some kind of difficulty, personality, psychological difficulty that they've sort of been able to whittle down and define as a gender dysphoria, and then makes the decision to either correct the hormonal imbalance or whatever it may be, or go through the therapies, or to just straight up go for the transition. Nobody who's actually struggled with transgender issues, that I know at least, seems to really side with these transgender Milo and Riley Dennis types. And I got into a discussion with him about that, and I asked, do you know many trans people? Because he seemed really keen to defend these trendy sort of points. And he admitted, no, I mean, I can't say I do. Everyone I know is cis. I'm like, well, I'd be happy to introduce you to some trans folk who would love to explain this to you themselves. And he was totally open to it. It wasn't like blocked, like cis het normative shit blocked. Oh, gender's a spectrum.
I hate that about the internet, that you can just like they just retreat into their safe spaces by disabling comments, blocking people. Yeah. It's like, what the fuck's the point if you're going to engage these ideas, but you don't want to fucking talk to people that might fucking disagree with you?
No, see, I think it's entirely okay to do something like that. That's your own choice. You can back out of the conversation that you tried to start if you'd like. What I don't get is how the same people that do that will claim that we're cowards for using avatars and stuff like that.
Right. Yeah, I don't care what people do ultimately, but if you throw out a challenge and then ignore, it's not just people saying something on the internet. It's also the people who are like, this is true because of this. And then you're like, no, it's not. And they're blocked. Mm-hmm. You're the one who fucking brought it up, bro.
Well, it's, it comes down largely to the fact I think too many people have been so encouraged by well-meaning sources like parents and teachers. You're so smart. You're so wonderful. You're so perfect. They've never had to genuinely eat shit in their lives. So the first time anybody brings, passes by them carrying a tray of, steaming shit frogua or something, a nice piping hot shit sandwich that, is, it's perfectly fine for them to eat it. In fact, like, it'd be good for their immune system if they did.
Poo platter.
Yeah, exactly. But just the moment they get a whiff of the shit that a normal human being has to eat in the course of development, they're just so terrified of it. And this is something I've even noticed with these. I was thinking about this the other day. When you take these new anarchists, these communist anarchist types, the ones who think that an anarchist revolution will, they'll be at the front of it for one thing, of course. And of course, after the revolution happens, they'll be in charge of it, of course, because that's how those things work. But more than that, when you kind of think about what it is, the things they want, and this is coming from a liberal guy, like I support things like single-payer healthcare. I think national service is exceedingly important. I think national infrastructure is more than important. But these people think that they should get paid without working. They think that labor and they think that working for a living is some form of slavery that they're being pulled into by a system that they don't understand or that's out to get them. And I think really what it is that they make their way through college, and when they're finally introduced to the real world, especially if they have to go back home and their parents are like, get a job, move the fuck out.
Right.
They realize that, oh, what do you mean I don't have someone to just give me everything I want and everything I need, and that I don't have to work, and I could just continue blogging about how glorious the Soviet empire would be and this and that. When they're smacked in the face of the reality that no, Cupcake, this world is not going to take care of you. You take care of yourself.
Well, you're missing one other viable reason,
Which is,
and that's crazy. When the fuck did that stop being a reason? Like, some people are just fucking crazy.
no, this crazy, but that's the other thing too. No, they've even tried to co-opt crazy. I mean, it's funny. So many of the people who are bitching endlessly about cultural appropriation are themselves self-diagnosing with mental illness just so that they can have that get-out-of-jail-free card whenever they're called out for saying some truly batshit things.
Oh man, that drives me up the fucking wall.
Yeah.
Someone that comes to me and goes, I have anxiety. I was really uncomfortable at this group of people I didn't know. That's not what fucking anxiety is. You have no idea. Have you even seen a fucking doctor about it?
No, they're like, I can't get a job. I've got depression. It's like, really? I had depression and I put a gun in my mouth one time, but instead of blowing my brains out, I just went to work the next day.
Right.
I think we were approaching critical mass with the phrase, the fucking toughen up Cupcake.
I only had an anxiety attack once, and it was the first time I had a knife pulled out on me. And you kind of just suck it up.
Yeah, that's one thing I learned going to war. I went to Iraq and did convoys, and when that first bomb goes off, you're like, shit's real. I better toughen the fuck up or I'm gonna fucking die.
Well, that's not an anxiety attack. That's a sudden realization of your
thing.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's weird. Like, yeah, I mean, a legit anxiety attack. I mean, do you guys remember last year there was that a girl was posting selfies of her anxiety attack to raise awareness and shit? It's like, I'm like, sorry, bitch. No, listen, when you're having a legit anxiety attack, like a real serious one,
you don't have time to fucking take a fucking selfie.
You're pretty sure you're having a fucking heart attack. Like, you feel like your extremities go numb, your heart is beating out of its chest, you get chest pains, you get all the symptoms of a heart attack.
Yeah.
And then you're like, I'm gonna fucking die right now.
Yeah, nothing else matters. You're working your fucking phone, you're not having a panic attack.
Yeah, if you can post to Instagram, you're probably okay to take that job at Dunkin' Donuts after all.
Like, it takes me
be fine.
It takes me like a good 6 tries to unlock my phone when I'm drunk, so I can't imagine of an anxiety attack.
You clearly have some exes that you've texted in the past, huh? Gave yourself a little security code, a bunch of math questions. You got to like play one round of Tetris and win before you can send a text after you've been drinking.
Jigsaw puzzles and shit.
The drunk text jigsaw puzzle. That's a fantastic idea.
Yeah, I mean, I set one of those. I set like you have to punch in this numeric sequence in a special order to get the alarm clock to stop sounding because I'd never get out of bed. And then I get up and I wake up just as like my blood pressure goes up with me getting pissed at this phone that won't shut the fuck up.
Yeah, I like that alarm clock. Somebody invented that once the alarm goes off, it fucking springboards itself across the room.
That is the worst.
So you have to get out of bed.
The devil made that alarm clock.
There's one where it's like a placemat, and you have to actually like stand on it for like 10 seconds or whatever.
That one's fine. The one that actually launches, especially if you have a lot of stuff, you can actually lose that, and it will still be going off, and then you have to fucking find it.
It's fucking behind the couch.
How fucking messy is your fucking bedroom, cunt?
I have to.
Seriously, I have a thing called a laundry basket. Has your wife taught you about laundry baskets?
I
just know someone in the stream.
Gets lay in there.
Someone in the chat is going to talk about the time their alarm clock launched itself behind their stack of manga, and they didn't want to disturb the order, so they just had to let it ring.
Ring until the batteries died. It's only going to go for like 4 days. It's fine.
Yeah. Well, it's an interesting thing though, because it just occurred to me, and maybe I have no idea, but it's an interesting thought. So we were always hearing about first world problems, right? Do you think having to wake up and get out of bed when you really don't fucking want to, but you got to go to work, so you do it anyway? Is this something you think actually transcends economic status in terms of those in like the third world who have to get up and break rocks with other rocks? It's their job. Do you think, I'm sure they hate getting up and going to work, but do you think it's that same feeling when it's like they wake up and they're like, oh, shit, no, I just want 15 more minutes to 5 hours of sleep, please?
Well, I think that's where the relativism comes from. Like, everything is relative to your situation in life. And so to say that nobody has problems because they don't transcend to Ethiopian problems.
You're like, oh, I had to go into work without breakfast this morning. Meanwhile, Ethiopia, I had to go in to work. It's been a month since I had breakfast.
Well, my brother always used to like to say he liked taking that sort of that, I guess almost a positivist relativism, where he'd say, yeah, well, I fucking kind of hate my job, but it pays the bills. And like, yeah, I get depressed as fuck. But then I just have to remember like those Somali refugees down in Manchester that no one's trying to wear my genitals for jewelry. Hey, no one's trying to wear a labia for a hat in New Hampshire. Okay.
Yeah.
Where can I get myself a labia hat?
The Women's March.
Women's March, yeah.
I was waiting for somebody to say it.
Well, I think it's good to experience things like that. Like I like people ask me all the time. They're like, "How was Iraq?" And I'm like, "It was a blast."
Literally.
quite. And it looks like I was like, people ask me like, "What's it like over there?" And I'm like, "Have you seen Mad Max?" Like it looks like a desert wasteland, post-apocalyptic world. So once you see that, you come back home and you're like, you know what? My shower's backed up. This isn't so bad though.
Talking about the first problems, are you guys mourning about the loss of Chuck Berry?
Who's that?
Chuck Berry, the musician?
Who's that? Really?
No, I was thinking it had something to do with some drama. Chuck Berry died?
Yeah, Chuck Berry died.
When did that happen?
That makes me sad.
Today.
And still we have Bieber.
Dan, he must. But he must have been fucking 100 years old.
He was 90.
Doesn't matter. We still have Justin Bieber. We still have One Direction, and God has never existed.
What I love is the fictional cousin of his in Back to the Future. Yeah. It's your cousin Marvin.
It's your cousin Marvin. Marvin Berry.
You gotta listen to this.
That new sound you've been looking for?
Yeah, well, this is the funny thing, though, too, is that when you go from, like, the old steady sort of 50s style, like, pop music they had then to rock and roll, and then you apply Michael J. Fox's Tremors, it makes a lot of sense. Yeah. I'm surprised he didn't. The only thing that was missing, really, was distortion pedal, and then he would have invented metal.
Well, metal was definitely invented by Tony Iommi, and it was because of an accident. He got his fingertips cut off at a factory, and he had metal caps on, and he tuned his guitar different. You got that Black Sabbath, and that was all because of him. That metal sound comes from Tony.
So when normies who weren't into it heard it and said there's something wrong, it's like, you fucking bet there is.
Right? And then you get somebody like Ozzy Osbourne who like snorts a line of ants off the sidewalk because he thinks they're coke.
Well,
and you got a good metal band.
Let's be honest, he did that. He did that. These days,
snorting a line of ants.
These days he's probably drinking like a kale shake and wondering if a song that came out 5 years ago is too young to redo in auto-tune.
Now, he's one of those weird ones that you can only understand him when he sings.
Yeah.
You know, like when he's talking, he's as you as it Sharon.
I don't know. If you've seen Ozzy Osbourne do interviews outside of the fucking reality TV show he speaks okay. He's understandable-ish.
He still sounds fucking sleepy as fuck.
Yes, but he's understandable.
He sounds like he's a little out of it.
He's
but
probably not so.
Word.
Well, he's far away, so he doesn't have to get shit-faced to deal with the realities posed by his family every goddamn day.
Yeah,
Have we all seen Kelly Osbourne's reality TV show?
No, I don't. That's
I fucking watched it.
Ozzy Osbourne literally is the living embodiment of lethargy.
Well, you know, Ozzy though. At the same time, I think, and you know, jokes aside, I think Ozzy is, and I hate saying this, but so we always lose great artists. We lose Jimi Hendrix, we lose Mama Cass, we lose Kurt Cobain, right? Now, with a few exceptions, it does seem as though all these artists seem to sort of experience this arc, you know, and they hit their peak, and then they either die, or they go on to make less good music over time. Chris Cornell, perfect example. I know plenty of people love Audioslave, but it's not fucking Soundgarden.
No.
Scott Weiland, before he died, Stone Temple Pilots, actually, you could see the entire arc, and you don't even acknowledge the shit that exists now with the singer from Linkin Park. You just say to yourself, Stone Temple Pilots goes from core, hard, grungy, 90s shit to tiny music, which is like, oh man, I finally took enough acid to discover what chakras are. And that's the arc that you have. And it's funny because you see, I think the only person I can think of off the top of my head who hasn't sunk into that trap is Tom York, and that's because he's too blasted on heroin to know anything's happening at all.
Sure. But I think that's the changing landscape of music, though. When you live long enough to see the shift, then your music isn't as relevant.
One thing about Kurt Cobain, I was watching a old MTV thing where they were interviewing people at college about his new album, and like everybody's just like, oh, cool sound. And one of the chicks was like, I liked most of it, but there's this one song called "Rape Me" that really offended me, and I was like, oh. Imagine if that song came out today.
There's some things you just can't make today. Like you can't make Blazing Saddles.
Yeah, you can't make Rape Me.
Can you imagine if the Max came out today? Anybody else remember that?
The Max?
The Max. We need Dark Horse Comics back in a bad way because Marvel needs to be reminded that they have market share to defend. But no, the Max, I mean, the villain was a serial rapist and murderer who, like, he rapes and murders several characters throughout the course of the story, and then by the end, you have no ill will against him. You're like, holy fuck, that was way too complicated for me to explain, but the rapist murderer guy, he's not even the bad. There's not really a bad guy, not really.
What happened to Dark Horse?
They're still around. They're just not competing.
That's sad. That's depressing.
Well, but then you get some one-off like comic books that come out under their own brand or whatever that are just fucking brutal, and they don't care about the PC culture. Like The Boys. Holy shit! Have you ever read The Boys?
Yeah.
Fucking, oh my god, that's some dark ass shit right there. Fucking superheroes doing all kinds of shit.
Well, here's a question though. I mean, do you think PC culture? Does anyone here maybe think that PC culture is in some way actually serving to fuel and motivate artistic expression, if only by establishing sort of a new puritanism that it needs to go against?
I fucking hope so.
Yeah, it's another target. It's the same way that it fuels our fucking videos.
Yeah, Roman is saying Max was Image. I really thought it was Dark Horse. I know.
I looked that up. Talking about The Boys, anybody read Girls?
Yeah, the great comic book.
That basically, like, it's kind of like there was a show that came out where it was like the town was encased in this bubble. Under the dome. Yeah. No, but so is this town encased by this bubble dome type of thing. But the thing is, there's a bunch of like eggs or whatever, right? They came from the eggs, and out of the eggs came these women. And what would happen is they would try to go and fuck every guy, and it would just create more and more of them.
Yeah.
But they
Wow.
had a thing where they wanted to kill every female in the town. Like as soon as they saw a female, they were like, gotta kill this bitch.
So the comic of Girls is to the show what the Batman, like Frank Miller Batman, was to Adam West.
Oh, they're not
right?
related. Yeah, they're not
yeah.
related.
No. And it was the same artist and writer who did this comic book called The Sword, and that was really great. If you've never read The Sword, that is a great little like 6-series comic book. But basically, this girl gets a hold of a fucking sword. She's in a wheelchair, like she's paralyzed, and she gets a hold of a sword that gives her fucking god powers that allows her to go and kill other gods. Like, it's really good.
What I loved about the Girls is that basically horny guys would have caused the entire fucking like all the females to die because so they had to try to prevent the guys from fucking the females.
Like Stepford Wives meets Pod People.
Yeah,
it really sucks that we're talking comics and Samaj isn't here yet.
I just sent him a message going, you're missing all the
I'm gonna
comic talk.
slip off and smoke because this son of a bitch Magog is triggering me.
How about
Actually, that sounds
Invincible?
Like I'll be back. Well, cunts.
How about Invincible? That was a good comic.
Invincible. Oh yeah. I remember that.
I'm slowly realizing how little of a comic nerd I actually am, even though I tried to claim that I am a comic nerd.
Invincible, basically, he half human, half a superhero, whatever. And his father is, this famous superhero. Turns out he's a bad guy.
Yeah.
And his race put them there, him there as like an agent, like a sleeper cell type of thing.
Right. Oh, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say too, another one that probably would like, if you read it and on just the surface, it would be like a feminist comic book. But if you read deeper into it, it's not. And it was called Why the Last Man.
Yes, Why the Last Man. I fucking loved that. I've tried to get so many people to read it, and I don't want to fucking spoil the ending, but I love the ending.
Right, yeah. And that one, like, you read it and you're like, what is this, some feminist shit? But once you kind of get the subtle undertones of it, you're like, wait a minute, women are just as horrible as men are when the world goes to shit.
I loved it because there was like different groups. There was like the fucking total feminists, like we don't need guys, let's fucking die down. And then there were like the ones that were like trying to, like, once they found out that there were guys that were trying to protect,
Right. They were trying to save the world. And then there was like his sister joined the Amazons and they would like cut the breast off.
Yeah. And then you had the thing where like these different countries were trying to like fight over who had the man, because whoever had the ability to reproduce would be dominant.
Yeah.
But that was like really fucking interesting. Just the fact that like he had to hide among like this world of women, like the Japanese, they had these what was it? People that pretended to be guys and shit.
Yeah, they had like the lady boys and shit, Yeah. That was such a fucking great comic, man. And it was like, I like those comics that are just like a short run actual story. Like they come to an end, I fell out of the comic books that just keep going on and on, like X-Men. And, like, it's just like, I can't keep up. But you get these like short graphic novels that are just a really hardcore, good, fucking awesome story. I love that shit.
But they've been talking about making it into a movie forever. I'm looking up now, they are making it into an FX series, maybe. I would rather have it into a TV show than a movie, because it would be too much to be put into just a 2-hour movie,
Yeah, and like, I hate fucking Seth Rogen, but he is the director and producer of The Preacher on AMC, and that's actually really fun, like, because I loved Preacher. That was such a great series.
Why do you hate Seth Rogen?
Mostly it's his fucking like when he did the fucking Budweiser commercials with Amy Schumer.
Yeah, I mean, I understand it. I do. I just was curious because one thing I've found, and the rest of you can probably appreciate it, is you really do have to separate the artist from the art.
Right, exactly.
I mean, Neil Gaiman is one of my favorite authors. He actually gave me permission. He gave me permission over Twitter to read one of his stories on my channel. But But at the same time, I mean, you know, he's like his marriage to Amanda Palmer. He is a hardcore, hard left feminist himself now. And I've had arguments with him. He was like praising Randy Harper one time. And I was asking him, are you really certain this is the kind of person you want to be praising right now, Neil? He's like, why? And I showed him some things, and he just looked. His thing was he looked at her own Patreon when she said, I'm standing against bullying. He's like, seems laudable. And then, lo and behold, about like 3 months later, she ends up in that shit fit with Anne Rice. Yeah. And I came back, and I'm like, Neil, do you remember our conversation? And
well, it's like...
He just responded to it with a blog post. He's like, well, here's how to deal with critics. I'm like, eh.
But that's kind of what happens. These fucking people eat each other. Look what happened to Joss Whedon. Like, you know, he's like he's like what, hardcore feminist, and he's always been a feminist. And then he turns around and makes Black Widow have like a fucked up backstory, and all the feminists come out of the woodwork like, you know, they just attack him. You know?
So Rucka was saying like you know, a bunch of like people like us in the shitlord community that are able to like move and stuff like that should all go to LA because you'll be able to like, you know, be different, because like a lot of those people over there are kind of, they lean towards SJW world and shit.
Yeah, it's
I feel like as soon as you go over there, you kind of have to play their game. Otherwise, you'll be fucked over.
Oh, I've been told that a lot. I mean, when I was in New Orleans, that was where I was really like trying to cut my teeth as an actor. And it's funny because I've been invited. My old agent actually told me, like, come on home. I've got plenty of roles, and all of these young guys are like, when they drop 2 or 3 auditions and they don't get the parts, they figure it's my fault and they move out to LA thinking it'll be better. But down there, it's, you know, it's the deep South, and you've got a lot of actors, you got a lot of agents, you got casting directors even who, you know, they're liberal, as you'd expect, like, you know, a reasonable liberal to be. But they're like, no, man, I don't need any of this like social justice shit.
Well, and like Louisiana is where I'm not sure if it's still like that, but at least 5-6 years ago, and I was looking into because I'm a camera operator, sound director, lighting guy. I was doing that for years and years, and Louisiana, or like especially New Orleans and the cities around it, is where a majority of a lot of the films, at least the low budget films that I'd be able to get my hands in on,
the big
are
ones
being made.
Yeah, in 2014, they like had 2.5 times as many major studio productions, TV and film, in Louisiana than they had in all of California. Yeah, and that was because of the tax incentives.
Oh yeah, like they basically were paying people buckets of cash, like come make your movie here, and then make sure we get some money on the back end. But like they're financing movies so they can have. It was a weird situation, but I actually considered moving out to Damon, whatever. It's about like an hour south of or hour north of New Orleans.
It's pronounced Des Moines.
Okay, I was gonna say because an hour south of New Orleans.
Sorry, no, an hour north.
You're talking about the Gulf of Mexico there, depending on how.
It's the Bermuda Triangle.
Yeah. But no, but I looked into it, and at first it was it looked great. I didn't ever end up doing it because I had a little bit of a confidence problem. It's like, well, if I get out there and this doesn't shoot off, I'm just going to be stuck in Louisiana with no job and a place I got to pay for. I was like, I'll just stick here and stay mediocre. I'm okay with mediocrity.
Yeah, I love how people call it fucking New Orleans when, like, I'm in Arkansas, so I'm right above Louisiana, and they don't say New Orleans. They say Nolans.
No, that's some touristy shit, man. No,
Can't you say New Orleans?
No, I fucking
New Orleans.
I fucking have like 3 or 4 friends from Nolans, and they're just like, fucking hate New Orleans. That's so stupid.
That's how normies say New Orleans, but it's just New Orleans. New Orleans.
New Orleans.
Yeah, I mean, at least that's how the Texans I used to hang out with would say it.
Yeah.
Well, let's say that. Yeah, that's where everyone, like, where I'm from, and that's how everyone says New Orleans. It's just New Orleans.
So to not confuse anybody, I just call it the Big Easy.
I just call it home.
More like the Big Sleazy.
No, honestly, like I've never been anywhere. It's dirty. It's dangerous. It's grummy and grimy. You'll see some of the worst things you could ever think of there, but at the same time, like I don't even believe in magic, but if such a thing exists, it exists in New Orleans. That town.
Do the locals fuck with Mardi Gras?
The locals, well, it's a funny thing. Like the locals, they enjoy Mardi Gras because it's fun, and they like it because of all the money that it brings to the city. But when I lived there, even like the first year, like when I first moved there, it was just around Mardi Gras, and that was fun. Oh, cool, Mardi Gras, yay, great. The second year came around, I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake, really? I lived up in mid city, which if you were walking from my house to the French Quarter, which is where all tourists go, you're looking at like a half hour, 40-minute walk. And yet I'd go to the grocery store for 10 minutes, come back with like my pizza or whatever beer I'm getting, and I'd show up and there's some fucking Nissan Versa with a fucking Ohio plate in my spot in front of my house. Like, what the fuck is this shit? Go park at my bar, and they'd be like, "Oh yeah, you too, fucking tourists."
It's the same with failure. He was just bitching about fucking spring break earlier.
Yeah.
Like as soon as you live in Miami, you're like, "Woo, spring break next year! Fuck these people."
Well, it's the funny thing too. Like the days in like the days during Mardi Gras when they have like second line running around, all the tourists are like, "Oh my god, this is so awesome! What a special occasion!" It's like, no, this is like random ass Tuesdays. Like you'll just be sitting at your own. Like we were actors and we're unemployed for good long periods of time. We're sitting there just watching Netflix and shit, and all of a sudden we start hearing this like low brass music coming out from somewhere, and like ears would perk up and be like, "Fuck, second line's coming around." Why? Who the fuck knows? But yeah, sure as shit, like a 30-piece brass band that just assembled on the street would just be slowly marching down the street. March around a while, march around the neighborhood, block up some traffic. No one gives a shit. And then lead you to a bar, and everyone goes and gets hammered.
We don't have tourists in Arkansas. I've never met a single person who was like, you know what? I have a really stressful life. I need 2 weeks in Little Rock.
I try to do the acting thing, but the problem is in Miami is too fucking rare to find. Like, you have to like wait until like there's something like I was on Ballers a couple times, and other than that, it's just like small commercials and shit.
Well, that, and I mean, when people are casting in Miami, they're always looking for like those toned beachgoer types. Do you have a 6-pack with inexplicable other muscles? Are you really vascular? Do you have a perfect tan? And that's why I like the South. They're like, do you look like a backwoods piece of shit? All right, cool. Come on in.
Everybody does fine.
Yeah, but down there, I'll say, at least in the South, there's real industry. When I moved back up here to New England, it was all pay to play. And like every like acting troupe, as it was, like every sort of club or group or people who are like, you know, we had Meisner classes. For those unfamiliar, the Meisner method, that's like,
God.
Yeah, we had Meisner classes being taught by career background. People who've never had a principal role in their life, and they took maybe 2 years of training under some dipshit who did like half a season on a soap opera once, and they come back to Boston and they're like, I'm gonna teach a class now, and people fucking lap it up. And I've even heard from industry people, yeah, when we go to New England, we just if we're casting, it's mainly for background. Like,
The same thing happens. I did stand up for a bit, and usually, like, you'll see them trying to fucking hawk out these stand up comedy classes, and the person teaching it never been anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen some legit teachers, and I've had some good teachers in my time, and like what they taught me was invaluable. But when I came back up here to New England, like there's one agent for the entire region. He reps about, I think, 15 or 20 people. All of them are his friends, and I took a look at their reels, and sure as shit, right at the very front of their fucking cinematic reel, it's, oh, I was featured background in this big movie with. Look at me, I'm right next to Amy McAdams in line there.
Right.
That's not a fucking reel, bud. That's not going to get you. That's not going to get you roles.
For me, the biggest thing I ever had was being on a fucking full suit next to Andy Garcia for like half a second.
Well, if you're not really chomping at the bit and going for it, like I've done background work to like pay the bills, and it's a lot of fun.
Dude, it was $200 for a day
and free lunch.
And it was $200. I was in a mansion next to the fucking pool, next to the fucking beach with fucking models next to me. So I'm
nothing to complain about. And the food is usually really good.
Yeah, craft service, like the best thing. Like I did one commercial, and it was like 2:00 in the morning, and they were like quesadillas and Cuban coffee. You know, I was like,
yeah.
Hey guys, I'm a janitor.
No, like the only stories I have like that.
oh, Jen.
Just throwing that out there. Just throwing that out there. Wanted to be part of the conversation.
I'll say
I think we're all
Absolutely.
feeling
I
a
just
little
realized
left out
you
there.
might see me standing next to a mop.
He's over here like, I played a janitor. I'm a fucking actually one. Motherfucker. I pretended to clean a toilet. I fucking clean toilets, motherfucker.
So when you're watching
I was the
movies,
character study for that. God damn it!
when you're watching movies and you see like a janitor, you're like, that's fucking. You wouldn't really do it like that.
And then you meet these people who are like, you know, like they love the movie industry so much that they work in movie theaters. And I've always thought, I was like, man, I'd love to work at a movie theater. And then I heard like Mundane Matt talk about working at a movie theater. And I was like, fuck that shit. He's like,
Check
I'm picking up condoms off the ground.
Bags of crap and shit.
Fuck that. Damn.
Even Andy Worski worked in like a drive-through or something like that.
Yeah, right. Fucking hell. Hey,
Drive-in.
yeah, the drive-ins thing, that baffles me. There's not a I guess that's like a West Coast thing because the weather's nice. I've never been to a drive-through.
I'm in fucking Miami. Fucking.
They're pretty cool, especially I mean, like if you get one where like there's only one cop there and you know where he is, you just get high as hell, just sitting in your own car watching a movie. As it tunes through the radio, and you're like, I remember when I was young, I went to them and I was like, wow, that's fucking magical. The little box there just transmits right to the radio. And then flash forward like 15 years and I'm trying to use FM transmitters to get my shitty Discman to play music through my car stereo. And some dickhead with Sirius XM drive by. I'm just jamming to my own tunes. All of a sudden, fucking Howard Stern comes on. Like, how the fuck did that happen?
Baba Booey.
It was great. There was, before it shut down, there was a drive-in movie theater right behind the bar I used to go to that was very green friendly. So we would sit there and go to the back patio, just sit there and smoke and sit there and stand on the benches, look over the fence and just watch the movie. Like we never had any sound. We'd sit there and watch every.
You should have just taken a hand on the fucking radio. You'd have picked it up that way.
Yeah,
you know, like they gave you a little like whenever you got in, like they gave you a little thing to set in your car. They did tune it through the radio in your car.
Oh yeah, old school.
Yeah, it was super old school, but it got shut down last year, so I'm sad about it.
Hey, Failure, what is it like to go to a drive-in in Florida and be sitting there watching a movie and then suddenly a sinkhole swallows half the audience?
Depends on what half the audience I'd imagine.
Oh fuck! I've
been to Miami. You can sink half of them in a sinkhole and no one would notice.
It's just a natural occurrence.
Yeah, like, I fucking watch a video on fucking Florida, and they're like, these holes just open up and eat houses. Fuck that place.
Well, it's the sudden emergency news.
You can't dig too deep in Miami because you might fucking hit water.
You hit water. You hit a giant fucking cave.
You'll be fucking burying your dead dog in the backyard, and the neighbor's house suddenly disappears. You're like, what I do? What did I do?
I just want to see the closest news station in like the most southern part of Georgia, right? Like, I just want to see them so used to it, and they're going to report on some disaster which killed a bunch of people, and they just open the report with Florida, Matt. I'm sorry, a sinkhole opened up in Florida and killed a bunch of people.
Because some asshole was trying to bury his dog.
Today, the Earth was blowing a bunch of bath salts and decided to just swallow up an entire city block.
So, do you want to know a Florida Cuban thing? So, whenever like teams win,
I love how we got to answer that question, and you didn't just ask that question and then start telling the story anyway.
Yeah, I was trying to think of a way to make a joke about mounting a sail to a bathtub.
So whenever teams win or something or Castro dies, people go out to the streets with their pots and pans. I always find that fucking hilarious.
A member of the fucking Castro family dies, or someone you kind of like wins the World Cup. It's about the same level of celebration. Now, how do I fix this motor to this bathtub so I can get back home?
I got some Florida man stories if you guys want.
Oh, Florida man stories are fucking fantastic.
Okay.
Oh, Jesus.
Don't forget about Florida woman because she's always hilarious.
Yeah.
Well,
Florida man,
fucking equality, cunt.
Florida man accused of threatening congressman dares feds to arrest him, and they do. I dare you. Let's see. Florida man boiled alive and showered by prison guards who aren't being charged with anything.
Oh, I got one. Florida woman accused of trespassing onto Trump resort, smearing cars with bananas.
There was a thing that happened in Arkansas that made the Arkansas Democrat Gazette, and Louis Black read the fucking thing on stage on one of his stand-ups on fucking like HBO. It was one of his like big ones, and it was the actual article because the fucking story was so Darwinism. Like these two rednecks were out frog gigging, and their headlights went out in their old truck because the fuse blew, and they replaced the fuse with a .22 bullet because that's all they had.
Good God.
And they start driving down the road, and the damn bullet goes off and blows the driver's testicle off.
I actually fucking remember hearing him read that shit. Yeah.
That actually happened here in Arkansas. Fucking Louis Black read the thing off the fucking.
Well, let's not leave George out of it though, because I imagine everyone has seen or heard the Rick and Morty recitation.
Oh, fuck yes.
What was it? The state of Georgia versus what was his name again? That was, I mean, a magical reading, just a magical thing. It's
It's
like, oh, I understand. You know, I bet you do really well with the women. I fuck boys. Oh yeah, okay. So you like men? I fuck boys. You like men? I fuck white boys. Oh yeah, I bet they're really gonna love you in prison. Yeah, they do. All the white boys.
Let's see. After slashing more than 100 bike tires, Florida man carved swastikas into several cars. Well, he upgraded.
Yeah, no, he got a little artistic with it. He's like, wait a second, I can do more with this than just puncture bike tires.
This one happens a lot. A Florida woman almost crashed her car when a snake crawled out of her air conditioning vent.
Yep.
Sir, did you carve all of these swastikas here because you are yourself a racist? No, man. It's just I only know how to draw two things. It was either that or Winnie the Pooh.
Wasn't Florida where the guy high on bath salts like went full zombie and
in Miami.
The guy's face?
Just started
in Miami.
on the guy, yeah.
Under a bridge, yeah.
Well, I just love how, you know, when Florida started coming out with bath salt stories, Russia was just like, hold my beer. Comes up with crocodile.
Crocodile.
Just saying, in defense of bath salts, when they first came out, they were actually very good. 3 years later, after they had been changed like 12,000 fucking times, they were chemically fucked up, and anytime you took them, you went clinically insane.
Dude here's just like, these bath salts would be great if all these fucking junkies weren't stepping on them trying to make their money all the time. It's like,
I never thought in my life I would hear a sentence that began with "in defense of bath salts."
I'm just saying, in defense of bath salts, they weren't all bad at first.
I'm just saying, I'm not known as the local Jackson Pollock for nothing.
Here's a Florida woman. Florida woman tries to get into a cop car for a ride home, punches officer, and calls him a racial slur.
I thought that's just what you did to cops.
I like
she was just insisting that he pull over so she could get some kebab.
One-eyed Florida man arrested for urinating behind business. Vows, I'll be back.
Florida woman quits job so she can breastfeed her boyfriend full time.
Oh, so tell me, was her job that of a primary school teacher? Because that seems.
Oh no!
Let's see. Florida man masturbating at playground had to be subdued by off-duty Florida sheriff and several Florida bystanders. You think he was still masturbating as they tried to take him down?
Oh man!
Oh god!
Listen, at least let the guy finish.
Yeah, he's about to be fucking arrested. At least let him blow his load.
I mean,
were
there kids in the playground? Because if there weren't, it's just plastic.
Here's a really sweet one. You guys know, bring your daughter to work day. All right, Florida man brings daughter to meet prostitute for research.
Listen, darling, I know our genetic line quite well. Well, of how much I know of it, I know that much pretty well. And I ain't got no delusion, darling, so I'm good putting you in an apprenticeship program here. I heard about them up north.
That fucker's family.
Florida accent. There we go. No, yeah, I heard about them up north.
That fucker's family tree must look like a telephone pole.
No. It actually looks more like an incomplete sort of like puzzle. It's just all these like random lines just hanging off on the side. It's like, well, we know they got something to do with us, but none of us knows how they got here or where they came from.
Florida woman arrested for tossing hypodermic needles into back seat with toddler in a traffic stop. Do you think like the cop just like walked right up? Toddler had a big old fucking needle sticking out of his head.
Yeah, but they knew what kind of drugs she was taking by the expression on the toddler's face, because Doper just kind of looked at him and grinned. Like, well, shit, that's some good heroin right there.
Can I touch your face?
Yeah, the fucking baby's trying to reach out and touch his face and tells him that it looks like the world is melting.
Florida man arrested after a fight over donuts that left one dead and one injured, and he kind of looks like John Belushi. So
yeah, but who ended up getting the donuts?
I'm guessing John Belushi.
They always leave the fucking important parts out of this.
I know.
Oh, right? Yeah. The fucking donuts were incinerated and sent to the afterlife, where John Belushi was just waiting there for them in a pack of Camels.
In the same vein, Florida woman tells police she has no idea how drugs got into her genitals.
You think you might have that information?
No, this is the thing. Honestly, Florida women have no idea how half of what gets into their genitals ends up.
It's a perfectly reasonable explanation.
Stuck it up my vag while I was sleeping.
Well, that's a fucked up thing. If Florida was a Commonwealth, the way Boston is, like standard fucking procedure would probably dictate that the judge had to let her go, because it's like, well, looking at you and knowing the park you come out of, I'm not gonna guess you have any idea what half the shit up in your vagina is.
This one's interesting because I read it wrong at first. I thought it was a snake doing it, but apparently he's a hero. Florida woman saved from rape by Florida snake.
Wow!
Saved by rape by Florida rapist.
Some of these headlines are just wow. Florida woman arrested for exposing breasts, throwing pork chops in trailer park.
Only in Florida.
What?
I don't feel so bad about my state now.
Why pork chops? Why waste those?
It goes so downhill in so few words.
It does.
Just gotta go back up to your mama's farm. You get some more pork chops.
Hey, around here, people
leave your cousin alone.
Hey, do you want to see this Florida woman? We all do, right?
Oh yeah, let's screen share this. I've been saying I've been getting too many erections lately.
Will I be able to sleep?
I put the link in the side chat there.
Oh, you're not gonna screen share so the chat can see?
I'm not at Dox's view. I can't.
Oh god,
she looks just like. Oh wait, sorry, I was looking at the reporter there.
Oh Jesus.
Oh yeah.
Oh shit.
Even thicker beard than I thought. Sorry, Matt. My God, he gets paid. Listen, this is what fucking chaps my ass real hard. Is he's the reporter for the Orlando Sentinel. He got paid for writing I'm actually going to call it 2.5 paragraphs, because standard paragraph is 3 to 5 sentences. This is 1, 2, 3, 4 sentences.
Yeah, those are not paragraphs. Those are 4 separate sentences. One of them is slightly longer than the rest of them.
It's like when you're a kid and you just try to space it out as much as you can.
Here we go. A Jensen Beach woman was arrested on a disorderly conduct charge after allegedly exposing herself and throwing grilled meat during an altercation. TCPalm.com report. You're just aggregating. Fuck off. Martin County Sheriff's Office deputies responded to the 2500 block of Northeast Indian River Drive in Jensen Beach, January 2, after a male victim reported Christine Taylor, 31, was causing a disturbance. Taylor has reportedly been drinking and was trying to start a fight with residents in the mobile home park. called it. Taylor allegedly exposed her breast to the victim and his 3 children before toppling a barbecue grill and throwing pork chops. That's a poorly written sentence. No, it makes it sound like she picked the pork chops up from the crabgrass that the grill was standing on and then threw them. It's like, no, she put them on a plate first, kicked it over, showed her own potential children her breast one more time. Because who knows?
I love how you added crabgrass because, like, around here, the fancy trailer parks have gravel.
The fancy ones have gravel. No, the fancy ones have bark mulch, honestly. They got fucking bark mulch.
That's expensive.
I love how you're trying to say that trailer parks can be fancy. Come on now.
They can be really fancy. Listen, the biodiversity in that, not so much between the humans themselves, but that lingers upon the humans, is amazing.
It depends on your lifestyle. I've seen trailer parks around here in Arkansas that, like, because people don't, like, they choose their lifestyle differently. So it's like they don't give a fuck about their home, but they give a fuck about their cars. So I've seen a trailer park. I've seen like a
That's
fucking
where all the
trailer,
Chevelles. That's where all the Chevelles live.
Yeah, so you go through these trailer parks, you be like, here's a fucking single wide trailer with a Viper outside of it.
Yeah,
you're like, what the fuck?
No, I mean, like, it's funny because the Chevy, what is it? The '68 Chevelle is the most sought after muscle car, I think.
Beautiful car, beautiful.
And it's probably because all of them that still survive live in trailer parks where people they'll be like, oh, for $100 grand for that, you could buy a whole new house. I got a house, man. You gotta tell me with something more than that. Do you see this car here? Do you know how much poon this pulls me?
Okay, wait. I've got one more that I can't leave now. Florida woman strips naked in restaurant, sticks chair leg in ass, slathers herself in ketchup.
that sounds like
this one has the video.
Oh, good God!
Hey, that just sounds like a feminist art show.
It really does.
Nope. It lacked the free bleeding.
I was gonna say it has to be smears herself in period blood, not ketchup.
The ketchup was a representation. It's a metaphor, people.
Real quick, a hack in the chat says my family drove to Florida and we were going through the tollway and we have a iPass and the toll booth lady said, "We don't take nothing Yankee down here." That's the fucked up thing. Like if you drive like my brother drove up to like Jersey and he got like bills from like fucking 50 different places because like everybody has like a iPass, SunPass. Like we have SunPass, and Orlando has a different type of thing. Ours, like Orlando will take ours, and we'll take Orlando's, but that's where it ends. So the rest of them.
I owe Texas a lot of money. I ain't ever paying because that license plate didn't belong to me.
I went through Oklahoma once, and they have the toll roads for the Indian, territories, and I had no idea because I've never been through a toll road before. And I was glad I brought my checkbook because they don't fucking take debit card. It's cash or check. And so I roll up and they're like, cash or check. I ain't got no cash. And I was like, so I'm sitting there, all this line of people behind me, and I'm writing out a check for $1.75. Just this is the saddest day of my life.
I do love that you can always spot a city or state that takes itself far more seriously than its neighbors by where its tolls are set up. Because I noticed this like heading into Texas. I was running from I forget the hurricane. It wasn't Rita. It was the one. It was like 2012. I was hightailing it out of town to avoid that, and I was heading out to Katy, Texas, and then off to Austin. And yeah, like the fucking toll roads there, it's just like, yeah, they're not even tolls; they're just like these readers up top. And if you don't have one of the transponders, they just snap a picture of your license plate and mail you a bill. When I was living in Philly, though, it was the same thing. The river which borders Philly separates Pennsylvania from New Jersey. And when you live in Philly, you come to kind of despise Jersey kids for a very good reason.
Right.
And so if you're leaving Philadelphia for New Jersey, it's free. Okay, have fun. If you want to come back in, it's $14 or some shit.
I had a friend of mine, because in England they have the traffic cams that'll, if you're speeding, it'll take a picture and they'll just mail you the fucking ticket.
Mm-hmm.
And he got one of those things in the mail, and it was, like £100 or whatever. And he was like, fuck these people. And he fucking took a picture of money and sent it to him. They sent him back a picture of handcuffs.
So, Anonymous.
And so he ended
posted-
up sending them the real money.
Anonymous just posted the video.
Hey, look at that.
I
You got the
did.
lesser shame.
I see that is at Johnny Rockets, and I know where that is. If you look at those stairs, you guys ever seen Scarface?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are the stairs that he takes up to go to the apartment where the whole thing with the chainsaw.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's a great scene.
Like that's a landmark right there. Meanwhile, here's this fucking chick just
Anally raping herself with a chair. It's fucking fabulous.
How do you
Yeah.
rape? How do you rape yourself?
With an object.
yeah.
It's you're doing it yourself. How the hell is it?
She
rape?
was
I
mentally
swear to
disturbed at
God,
the time.
officer, I didn't want to put that baseball bat up my asshole, but
That's
I couldn't help it. I was overcome by some compulsion, and I anally raped myself.
that reminds me.
If you could, I would like you to bring my rapist to justice.
That reminds me of that fucking joke. It was one of the best jokes I've ever heard. This woman dies, and on her way to the pearly gates of heaven, St. Peter comes out and greets her. Then she hears all these drilling sounds and screams coming from within heaven. She goes, "What's going on in there?" And St. Peter says, "Well, when you first get to heaven, we have to drill 1 hole in your head for your halo and 2 holes in your back for your wings." She goes, "Fuck that. I'd rather go to hell." St. Peter says, "Well, if you go to hell, you'll be raped for all eternity by demons." And she goes, "That's okay. I've already got 3 holes for that."
So, one thing I hate about those fucking transponders, so they'll send you like the $1.25 toll, but then like a fucking $50 service fee or whatever.
Oh yeah, they fuck you.
Like a processing, yeah.
That's the same with like the DMV. You go in there with a debit card. If you don't have cash or check, the debit thing, it charges you like fucking $10 to pay the bill. So you're like, fuck, get with the modern world, people.
And here's so you go to the court to get the ticket thrown away because you know you didn't do anything wrong, right? So you go, you get it thrown away, you have to pay $10 still for fucking processing.
Yeah. I got a ticket driving through Louisiana because I went down to New Orleans. And I got a ticket from Louisiana just because I had Arkansas plates. I was like just keeping up with traffic, and that motherfucker pulled me over. And he was just like, "You a Hogs boy? Razorbacks?" And I was like, no, I just live in Arkansas. And he was like, "Here's your fucking ticket." The guy in front of me was doing the same speed. The guy behind me was doing the same speed. Like it was like 40 and a 35. I had to pay $185 fucking ticket in fucking Louisiana for it.
Sorry, cunts. I'd like to interrupt. Hack Job says in the chat that she's now afraid to do anal.
You've never
Anon,
tried it?
Otherwise,
Never be afraid to do anal, sweetie.
I'm so upset with you. You've never tried it. We're all disappointed.
yeah, like Hack, you're an adult of some sort, right?
Every adult's put
so.
every adult's put a little something in their ass at some point.
Failure. How do we keep getting onto these streams where people talk about shit getting shoved up?
I don't know. Let's another Florida man. Florida man urinates on himself twice in front of police.
Fuck you, my dog.
No, okay. So did he pee and then stop peeing and then finish peeing? Or was this 2 completely separate urinations?
I think 2 separate. Florida man education board members to reconsider IPMS name for new middle school.
What?
Yeah, IPMS.
Nice.
Sneaky alligator hides out in garage, scares Florida man.
Oh, of course.
Of course, yeah, you know.
This is what gators do.
By the way, in Florida, you could eat like fried gator and stuff.
Florida woman caught trying to leave with
eat fried gator in any state.
Gator's
yeah.
good. Gator's good.
It travels.
Yeah.
Okay. A naked Florida man discharges fire extinguisher in van that was not on fire.
What?
Why is that a crime?
Is that a crime? Why is that a crime? Did he own the van? Like, maybe it's not a crime because it wasn't his van.
wait,
Maybe he was naked. Yeah.
He got confused about what rape van he owned.
Florida woman accidentally superglues eyes shut.
How the fuck do you accidentally never
Eye
mind.
drops.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
But both of them?
Yeah.
It takes a second to. Let's.
I had a friend in the military who accidentally took a scoop of Icy Hot instead of Vaseline while he was jerking it.
Oh,
Yeah.
wait, that might feel good. Depends.
I was going to say, despite
That would not feel good.
It only feels
There's
good for
no
about like 10
depends
seconds,
there.
and then it hurts a lot.
It's the pain.
So much.
So how many of you have tried this?
Pain.
No, I just remember the screams because we were all in our spank tanks. And let me explain what a spank tank is. It's basically the bunk beds, but you hang up sheets so you have your own little area.
Yeah, that way you don't have to look on at the other dude.
Right,
Yeah,
right, exactly.
I think
you have
time
privacy,
to,
even though they all know what you're doing. They can hear the little
Right.
smack, 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 smack.
Right,
It's not real friendship unless there's eye contact while you're finishing.
right. Yeah, exactly. I mean, sometimes you gotta catch it for your buddy.
I think it's time to plug
Can you
Ting
really
eggs.
trust them out in the field if you can't look them in the eye while you're squirting your load?
That's one of the things I remember from Iraq was the most deadliest creature in Iraq was the jellyfish. And people go, "What?" In the bottoms of the showers, it all goops together. It looks like jellyfish.
Ew! Oh, I'm triggered.
You gotta wear your flip flops in the shower, man. You don't want to step on a jellyfish. You don't want to step on a jellyfish.
You get some wicked fucking toe fungus from that.
Florida woman twerks on top of car driving down Miami Highway.
That's impressive.
Yeah, I'm not even mad.
Here's a good one. A Florida man convicted of $2 million Lego heist nabbed in Chicago with duplicate snap.
I want to be friends with him mostly because he has a shit ton of Lego.
Slash landmines. I mean, the guy was probably planning a fucking war crime for like some clan family hates in the Ozarks. He was going to bring them back and just scatter them throughout their fields where they walk barefoot.
Like, if you had that many Legos, would you just build yourself a house?
Hack job.
There's
completely
a
missed
in
it.
Southern California that has
they
a
don't
house made
shit
of
in the showers, Hack, you dumb cunt.
Well, here's
no,
the thing.
yeah,
Even with $2 million worth of Legos, if you built your house with it, you would suddenly look and realize, oh fuck, I fucked up and have to tear it all down. I have a 9-year-old. I know how these things work. The house keeps falling down. What are you using for a foundation? What's a foundation?
Nobody shits in the showers in Iraq. We're not monsters. We just come in them.
They come everywhere. Everywhere.
I remember my favorite thing was reading all the shit written on the bathroom walls and in the shower caddies and stuff. And you always get like big dicks drawn and like really fucked up racist shit. But the stuff that really stuck out to me just didn't belong. Like you see all this fucking shit, like, oh, come in her titties and all this, that. And then you'd read Toy Story 2 was okay.
I need to ask.
You start studying handwritings at that point, though. You start studying handwritings. Like, I want to know who the fuck thought that was worth putting up. Like, my pizza bleeds milk and no one cares. The fuck does that mean?
Why do men draw dicks on everything? I work in construction. All the porta potties are full of fucking dicks.
Dicks everywhere.
Speaking of drawing
funny.
dicks, I'm working on some fan art for you, Anon.
What?
Oh, I would love to see this.
It's funny to draw dicks. To be fair, we also draw boobs.
Yeah, this is the
No,
next
it's
step.
all dicks.
No, I think the
All
next step,
dicks.
and if anybody ever listens to this and gets the idea, just run with it, right? If you want to send a dick pic to a girl, just draw one, right?
Yeah.
And see how she reacts. Because honestly, if you get a girl that comes back, it's like, okay, you sent me a dick pic, but you drew a dick. What happened to you? Well, let's go out for a drink and I'll explain. Boom, you're in like.
He's got to be at least a little impressed if you're any good at drawing
Make
dicks.
sure
especially
you
if it's a
draw
girl.
good dick. But nobody's answered my question. Why?
It's funny.
Why?
It's funny. No, it's funny because like
Dicks
you're
are
like.
funny.
Well, it's funny
is.
because it's funny because it actually inspires the question. I mean, we ask it ourselves. Like, you'll be sitting on a shitter, you look around, you see just a bunch of dicks drawn everywhere, and you will wonder why.
Well, yeah,
There's always the one random. There's always the one
I'm
random
gonna add
comment.
my own dick to the pile, but why does everybody do this?
You
There's
know what my
always
favorite
a comment about how
About
about.
Oh, I get it. No, you're Canadian, so of course you don't get what a joke is.
Yeah.
I'm also a woman.
You get arrested
I
for
don't-
making
You
jokes
guys
up
just
there.
know anybody who's funny in Canada just flees to New York and joins Second City apparently.
I mean, I don't find the dicks offensive. I'm just concerned
They're just
about
baffling,
I have an answer to this question.
Want to draw dicks on everything.
I just want to share
everything. I can answer this.
I want to share my favorite cinematic dick drawing moment was in Superbad.
Oh, yeah. You big veiny triumphant bastard.
Yeah.
No, I think what it is it inspires artistic endeavors. It's a challenge. Somebody draws a really cartoon crappy dick, right? Somebody draws it and it looks like shit. So the next guy goes, "Oh, I could draw that better." And then he'll do it. And then before you know it, you get this really nice artistic dick with like shading. The veins look real.
It's
So
It's true.
Cubes. You gotta have the cube properly.
Yeah, it looks like it's coming out of the wall.
It's like
The problem with cubes is you can't just do pubes going all the same way. You're gonna have to like make some that go, curly and
Yeah.
Somebody spent some time studying artistic looking dicks apparently.
Well, but I have too. Many a porta potty at a construction site later. But
Well, no,
you're right. There's always an artistic gradual up.
Well, you know what it is? You know what
I've
it is?
seen many dicks and porta potties. Little Miss Anonymous
It's
quote.
the
Yes,
it's the fucking no. It's the male challenge dynamic. It's that this dude drew a dick. I can draw a better dick than that, and it doesn't even matter. It doesn't have to be like that's the thing. You offer a challenge to a man, especially when he's doing nothing. Like it's like, all right, I can either fucking dick around on Twitter while I'm on the shitter, or I can show this.
Plus, I mean, if you're the artistic type, you're sitting on the shitter. What do you have for inspiration?
yeah.
Dicks.
You know what
in front of you.
You know what the rarest one is the butthole. Not many people draw a random butthole because
Well, when was the last time you got a good look at an asshole? When you're looking at an ass, you're not focused on the asshole. When you're fucking an asshole, you're not looking at it, and you can't see your own.
69.
You have a very specific set of criteria for what that endeavor entails, my friend.
69. The asshole is always directly right.
Even if I'm eating asshole, I'm too close to the asshole to get a good look at it.
Yeah, but you always have to take a peek just to make sure that there ain't no shit on it.
That's
right.
right.
You want to know the tragedy I find though, because if that's what's become of it. I mean, it seems as though nobody ever actually took up the challenge after the first person wrote. Those who write on shithouse walls roll the shit in little balls. Those who read these words of wit eat those little balls of shit. It seems as though after somebody penned that little poem, no one ever tried again. They're like, nope, he owns a poetry game. Let's just draw dicks.
I saw a good one written on. It's more for military people, but I fucking sat down on the toilet and I closed the door, and on the back of the wall or on the back of the door it said, "Sit up straight, soldier. You're giving birth to an officer."
There's a reason we call it the dark side, and if you've ever eaten chili mac, you know what that is.
Yeah, I learned the worst jokes in the world in the military, just traveling the world and learning the worst jokes ever.
Well, I created a couple racist jokes when I was in the military, but I've recently been able to adapt them into the new Twitter sphere, so you can guess where it comes from. But why don't you see the Ralph retort sitting on more benches?
What's that?
Because then where's the judge going to sit? Or ultimately, I got another one. Why does Ralph love going to the bars so much?
Why?
So he can see out the window.
Probably one of the
Fuck
worst,
that dude.
probably one of the worst jokes I ever heard was a little girl and pedophile were walking through the woods.
Why did I suddenly think the Rubin Report?
And the little girl looks up at the pedophile and says, "Man, these woods are scary." And the pedophile says, "How do you think I feel? I got to walk back alone." That is so fucked up.
Here's a good one I picked up in New Orleans, and this is actually kind of a story about my buddy Colin. Now, my buddy Colin, a guy he went to high school with, and then a little bit of college before he dropped out. Well, this buddy has ended up being one of the senior sort of animal handlers at the New Orleans Zoo. Now, at the time, the New Orleans Zoo only had one gorilla, and it was a female. And the problem is that they couldn't fix her because they needed, she was endangered. And she started going into heat, and they couldn't find a male gorilla in the area that they could get to, take care of her. So after a whole lot of agonizing one night, really drunk while they're sitting at the bar, he tells Colin this problem, my buddy there. And he says, all right, Colin, I got a really weird proposition for you, man. $500. You take care of this gorilla for me. You know what I mean? Just go to town all the way till you come. Got it? Colin's like, whoa, man, oh shit, that's a heavy ask, bro. I'm gonna need a couple days to think about it. All right. So a couple days later at their bar, they're drunk again. The dude's still dealing with the problem, so he's like, fuck it. Hey, Colin, you got any thoughts on that offer I made you? He's like, all right, man, I thought about it and I'll do it, but on 2 conditions. All right, what's the first condition? Well, first condition, no kissing on the mouth. Well, all right, Colin, I think that we can do that. Actually, I got 3 conditions. Second condition is actually if there's any children, they'd be raised Southern Baptist. You got it? Well, all right, Colin, I'm pretty sure we can take care of that. What's the third condition? We're going to have to give me about like a week or so to come up with that $500.
Oh, I'm going to pay to fuck this gorilla.
See, that's the thing. A Southerner picks a joke up right away. He's like, all right, I understand we have Yankees and Canadians here. I'm going to explain it real quick.
Fucking jokes are great, man. Fucking love the fucking jokes.
Yeah, it's like that's how I see. It's funny. I've seen some people like fuck New Orleans and all this, right? What the fuck? What's white? Pale bobs up and down in your baby's crib. A pedophile's ass.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
There's a reason I put that in the side chat.
Yeah, you put that in the side chat, and I'm not gonna say. I would hate to blow someone's anonymity. I mean, that joke was clearly put up by somebody here who's anonymous. little bit anonymous. Not trying to blow your cover here, whoever it could be. Hey, it could be, it could be Failure. It could be Magog. It could also just definitely be Little Miss Anonymous. I don't know.
I don't tell terrible jokes like that. I would never.
Yeah, you just write them in the goddamn side chat, you fucking hack. I swear to Christ, it's like we're streaming with Amy Schumer here. Fuck.
Well, to be fair,
I haven't killed myself yet. It's not Amy.
videos.
I haven't watched her new special yet.
Yeah, she doesn't do the funny. She's serious in videos.
Yeah, her new special was so impactful that Netflix got rid of its rating system because they didn't want to hurt a fat girl's feelings.
Oh,
I'm afraid. I'm afraid to.
Did they really, or was that a joke?
No, they really did.
Yeah.
What? Seriously?
Yeah, they got rid of their star rating system because Amy Schumer's special.
You're fucking kidding me. You're fucking. I didn't even know that, man. That's.
No, don't worry. No, pretty soon. I mean, we're gonna get to a point where like you're not allowed to actually express an opinion, let alone rate anything, because it might offend a fat feminist somewhere.
Oh Jesus!
The thing is, that, like, I watched Amy Schumer's special and Trevor Noah's special back to back, and as much as I really don't like Trevor Noah,
Was he funny?
He can still be funny at times. Like I disagreed with most of what he was saying, but it was still funny. So I laugh at it.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, here's the thing that really fucking chaps my ass about like comedy and politics. It used to be sort of a default sort of thing that liberals had the better comics because they had plenty of dumb shit from the right to make fun of. But these days, the left is so overrun with dumb shit. And the sad thing is too is like the conservative comedians, like Dennis Miller is still not funny. He's not.
I fucking love Dennis Miller.
He wasn't funny. Listen, when he had his HBO show, like he had like his his
Miller Live.
Yeah. Like he was decent during that. But since then he just kind of like in terms of like how funny he was, he seems to it feels like he's taking just a nosedive. But it really does feel as though like the caliber of political comedy. I mean, if you want good, political comedy that hits the left, and there's plenty of ammunition right now, you got to look to like YouTube.
Yeah,
you got to go find shit. Like, I mean, even just like half the time I'll just watch random.
Magog, everybody subscribe.
I will avoid it at the show right now. And seriously, go subscribe to Magog. Like I've seen every single one of his videos to this point. Like I went through and watched all of your videos at this point now.
Yeah, I'm gonna give this shit a look tomorrow.
Thanks, Satan. Thank you, Satan.
We know where you got your powers from now.
Yeah, you got the fucking cartoon devil like praising you. Meanwhile, the artistic sort of Renaissance era devil painting is like, well, give it a shot.
I might try this guy out after a bit. But you are right. You make a very valid fucking point because the left is, when the left has lost their shit when like Bill Maher says some shit that makes sense.
And he's not even funny.
And he's not fucking funny.
I mean, like his stand-ups, like, and this isn't even politically motivated. It's just like every stand-up of his I've watched and all the old '90s skits. It's kind of shit. Like I'd see, if I saw it in the '90s, I would have said, "Oh, it's funny as fuck." Right. But now it's like just kind of stale. And I mean, he's a better sort of just shit talker pundit now than he is a comic because he's not that funny. It's just not funny.
I have a very strong love-hate relationship with Bill Maher. Like he'll say some things that I really, really love, and then he'll say some things that I really, really hate. I am never in the middle with him.
Jim Jeffries.
Jeffries is like that too.
Yeah, Jim. No, I mean, for me, Jim Jeffries, I laugh my ass off when I watch his specials. But to me, like Jeffries is kind of what a liberal comic ought to be. You know, I'm pro gun. But at the same time, like I'll listen to his rants on guns, and on the one time I'll be like, "Yeah, it's funny because he's making a pretty good point. It's sideways and all, but it's funny. But you don't have that. And I mean, what's the right alternative for comic? Stephen fucking Crowder. I mean, listen, I'm not gonna call him a comedian. I'm gonna call him a fucking clown. Crowder's a goddamn clown. He's like, it's sad.
Hey, goddamn it, I like Crowder.
Yeah, but you wouldn't even
say that on cam. You had to walk away to say that.
Yeah, you've also got a skull staff in your fucking apartment there, so I'm not really gonna hold you to a super high standard, bud.
Hey, God damn it, Crowder's funny. He's funny shit.
You ever see him paint himself up in brown face and fucking have a little conniption on camera trying to make fun of Cenk Uygur for a joke that went on way too fucking long? Have you seen that? Fucking hilarious shit for about 35 seconds.
That joke would have been great if he ended it like a minute and a half sooner. Like it just went on too long.
It was like a really bad SNL skit. You're just waiting for it to be over so you can watch something else.
Are you guys talking about like when he crashed Uyghur's?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, oh.
No, and even his video where he was playing himself, when he was playing Uyghur and Kasparian, that shit was like a minute too long, a minute and a half too long, and that's being generous.
Right.
Crowder's clever, but he's not a fucking comic. He's just a shit talker on the internet who gets a few chuckles. People tell me I've got after I did that stream with Jeff where we were reviewing Amazon products. I'm like, holy shit, dude, you're a comedy savant. It's like, I'm not a fucking comedian. I can just be clever from time to time.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's really the best that especially this like punk rock right seems to have. It's like we've got people who are clever from time to time that the leftists get super triggered by. And that's the fucking best.
Nice Australian accent.
Yeah, I've been drinking. I'm slipping.
You just went full fucking Australian.
Yeah, I think he sounds a lot like Total Biscuit, if you ask me.
But I get more of a rise and more chuckles and fucking laughs out of people like Undoomed.
Yeah.
Hey, Samaj, do me a favor. Send the link to Roman so we'll stop whining like a little bitch in the chat.
No, this is how it works. And it's one of these streams. It's like if you complain enough in the chat, then you're welcome to YouTube.
It's how I got on.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's actually how we got Wizard of Cause on here.
My whole stream my entire YouTube career started with me being invited into a stream after shitposting in the chat with swastikas for half an hour. That's how I came to be friends with Sargon of Akkad.
Well, I actually
clang.
Real life PewDiePie on the stream.
I actually kind of like enjoy the smaller streams because I've popped over to some more popular streams. There's just like 700 people talking at once. That fucking stream's going a mile a minute.
Oh, I ignore most chats, to be honest with you. Because most of them go that fast.
What fucking streams have you been cheating on me with?
All of them.
Oh shit! Failures, Matt. Oh dear, his his red demon eyes are burning a hole in my soul.
No, be honest, you just hadn't noticed his avatar until now. You're like, wait, he needs my attention? Oh, he looks kind of mad. Did I do that? Oh, fuck.
Fucking failure owns one of my ass cheeks, and then one other guy owns the other one. I'm fucked. I am fucked.
We're fucking spreading it apart.
You know what, Magog? I claim the left nipple. Just the left.
Yes,
Listen,
Satan.
At least none of you are owned by Bindu.
You'll have to explain that joke to me before I laugh.
Hashtag harmful opinions
Yeah,
of God.
Harmful opinions?
Okay, all right. I mean, do you feel like speaking candidly here, Magog?
Sure.
Censored.
Wow, you really have no idea what this is about.
Yeah, he's a fucking noob.
I'm fucking
no,
new,
no,
man.
that's fine.
I
No,
just
good.
started my channel 2 months ago, motherfucker.
Fucking
I'm
noob.
new. I don't know what to do.
Help me!
What do you fucking want from me, man?
Well, just
Fucking
go
noob. Yeah,
watch.
like, look
Just
at
go watch
something.
anything Harmful Opinions has done for the last 6 months.
That's yeah.
Oh, I know who Harmful Opinions is. And
Yeah.
That's why.
He's got a thing up his ass about Candid.
That's
No,
why.
it's- no,
that's
it
why
was-
God
I
placed-
don't know that, but you don't know who
instead of
Bindu
harmful.
is.
It was placed there, and it was placed there by very intentional hands, let's say. Fuck Candid, fuck Bindu Ready, fuck anybody who fucking shills for or defends that thing, especially knowing what they know. Slash not a clone.
All I know about
Hashtag
Candid,
not a clone.
all I know about Candid is that people say it's a shit app.
It's a shit app that fucking.
That's
It's
all
a
I
shit app.
literally know.
All right, you take all of the nasty shit that Twitter does with like ghost shadow bans and fucking disappearing comments and all that.
Right.
The AI that's doing it was either developed for Candid or it's a clone of the one that they wanted to implement upon launch because they wanted to make sure you only got quality posts, you know. God forbid you ever see something that ruffle your fucking feathers while you're on the internet. That's not
Right.
what the internet has ever been.
So it's
always
a
been
safe space.
It is well, it's not a safe space because they wanted to make a safe space, but they also wanted to use people like Greg and June and Bearing and anyone else they could just to convince the skeptics out there.
Oh.
And here's the thing: if your goal is to convince a skeptic of something, but you're trying to do it by just using people that skeptics supposedly like, there's a reason that. Well, I mean, the Twitter, the meme storm which fell upon Armored Skeptic a couple months ago, which Jeff and I were kind of behind. Well, that was actually the night that I realized "Don't Stop Me Now" by Queen is my shitposting anthem. Like when I shitpost, I need that song. But,
now, is it purely based on the fact that it's a shit app, or you just hate these people for taking the money? Because I'd love a cigar smoking a gorilla for $20. Right?
Well, no, honestly, if you can go find if you can go find like a wig that matches your beard and you can put about 15 years of worried age under your eyes, you could actually say that and look exactly like Amazing Atheist because it's not about the money they took. It's about the fact that it was exposed to actually be a fucking shit app that is promoting free speech while also utilizing censorship AIs. And at the same time, when Bindu started having Harmful come after her, she started offering basically bounties for rebuttal and takedown videos to these other big YouTubers like Amazing Atheist and Armored Skeptic, people who are just, you need to be in my class for me to fucking pay attention to you fucking pleb.
Mm-hmm.
And at the same time, they were actually starting to go after his fucking mother.
Yeah. Like legitimately.
Fuck Bindu Ready, fuck Candid, and fuck any big name, shill ass, sellout, piece of shit whore out there who decides that they want to defend it simply because I have a paycheck. I just bought a house and I need. You know what, motherfucker? If you're gonna make a name on YouTube for yourself as somebody who is intellectually honest, and that you're intellectually rigorous and you're going to be honest with your audience, and you're actually going to you want respect for the things you say as opposed to just the character that you present. The moment you say I hate you because you cost me a mountain of money, and that's connected to something that is patently dishonest, you and your entire fucking brand can fuck itself in as many conceivable ways as possible.
Wiz, tell us how you really feel.
Magog, were you around Magog when Baron got his first name doxed?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot about
Should
that.
I call you Baring or should I call you Patrick?
Yeah, Patrick.
In this thing that in this stream where we're talking about whether or not Candid is properly secure and private, should I call you Patrick?
That's fucked up. So it's you're not against people making money on YouTube. You're against the
I make money on YouTube.
You know, like so because that's
No,
I'm glad I'm learning this stuff before.
I
like,
disagree.
Candid
Yeah, no. I
sends
mean,
me a
listen,
message.
don't be afraid to monetize videos. Although expect that most of your audience is going to use ad block, right?
Sure.
And I anticipate that anyway. But you know, I mean, I make a decent. In fact, I'm like on the cusp of actually doing YouTube full time between YouTube and writing. I'm about ready to leave my day job.
Cool.
At your subscriber base, you're at a point where you're making enough that you could
it's actually
do it as a job.
For me, it's Patreon. I've been really fucking fortunate because my subscriber base, it grows. It's kind of slow growing, and it's not huge. But even like I was talking with Layman about a month ago, Dr. Layman, and he was like looking over my shit. And he's like, I can't say I've ever seen a subscriber to patron ratio like this, my dude. And yeah, but I've been really lucky in that the audience that I've been able to court and who enjoy my shit are really loyal to the channel. I mean, I have.
You hear that, cunts? You guys are all garbage.
Well, no, you just
okay
no. But the point I wanted to make here though is like I have no problem with people making. In fact, I encourage people to make money on YouTube and become professional YouTubers as they can, especially if their content is leaning towards the intellectual or intellectually satirical. But if you're going to do this kind of thing, and you're going to stand on some set of principles, even if it's just mocking dumb shit, then stick to your principles. Maintain some kind of level of personal integrity that makes a thing such as an offer from Candid like, well, we have a free speech AI bot that is going to police posts and shadow ban and all of the shit that everyone else who probably watches you stands against. Oh, we're going to do that, but we're going to give you a mountain of money. Honestly, it's the classic.
This is what it is. Don't sell out your principles for money.
Yeah, don't sell out your principles for money. Don't be a cunt when you get called out on it. I mean, I'll give Bearing benefit of the doubt because
I've had a stance from the start. I will never sell out my principles.
Oh, you don't have any.
Yeah, I'm with you, Failure. Like, if it's the right amount of money, I'll sell you all down the river in a fucking heartbeat.
Yeah. Now, I'm going to play devil's advocate for a minute. What are the odds that the people who signed a contract with Candid actually didn't know what Candid was really about when
there were some of them? No, there were some of them, and those people have either sort of distanced themselves, and if they're not coming out and hitting them, they did sign a non-disparagement clause. But the thing is there's a difference between like Bearing, who signed one, and even like Mundane Matt, yeah, who's, you know, he gets more shit than Bearing. But when this came out, well, then they're like, all right, well, my contract was that I would get paid to make these videos, and I agreed not to disparage it publicly. So I'm not going to disparage it publicly because I can't, but I'm not going to go pushing it anymore because it is what I see it is, right? But then you have people like Armored Skeptic who are just going to double down and be like, no, I'll do another one. Or you get people like TJ, Amazing Atheist, who, you know, to him, in TJ's world, TJ can do no wrong because he's the Amazing Atheist. And I've seen him respond to people posing valid arguments against bullshit points that he makes, or his failure to actually comment upon a question which keeps coming at him. And he says, I'm the Amazing Atheist. Who the fuck are you? It's like, honestly, if your argument comes down to the fact that you're a 1 million subscriber YouTuber and that's all you have, you can go fuck yourself with every sideways object you can find.
Especially considering that he's said multiple times in arguments, oh, what does subscriber base have to do with it?
Yeah, he's a disingenuous hack, and frankly, this entire thing, I'm really glad this whole Candid situation came up because it makes it very clear who it is that you can trust in terms of intellectual integrity and who you can't. I was actually a bit let down when Sargon came out. I was a bit let down when Sargon came out, saying like, you know, oh, we should overlook this kind of shit for the sake of community cohesion.
By Sargon.
No, I'm not surprised, but keep in mind, I'm friends with Carl. I like Carl, and I respect him, and he's got a fucking powerhouse intellect. But he needs to take a goddamn vacation. The dude, he's like, I've got 4 channels now. I'm gonna go nuts making videos 3 times a fucking day.
Hey, guys, I'm a janitor.
keep fucking Keep fucking making videos, dude. You'll be fine.
Honestly, like I've been subscribed to TJ since he had about 2,000 subscribers. I've been around for a while, and he's really disappointed me.
I unsubbed from TJ a couple months ago. I mean, I wasn't as early as you, but I think I was around before he ever hit like 50,000, 100,000, somewhere in there. And I for the first time unsubbed very recently. Like I even logged in my old account just to go unsub from that one too.
Yeah, it's sad.
Now, was the point Sargon made, if I remember right, is that, you know, like, the candid thing, does it really matter because people will download it, find out it's a shit app, and delete it anyway? So what's the
well, in that case, he was either ignoring or failing to actually pick up on the point that, you know, and this is something I've had conversations with him about, like his audience engagement, and he even admits, like, he doesn't talk to his patrons, you know, he doesn't really engage that much.
Right.
And the thing is that, like, if you're, you know, like, it's one thing to pander to your audience, but it's another thing to be intellectually honest to them. And this is a question of intellectual honesty, because people look, unfortunately, people look to those such as Amazing Atheist or the Armored Skeptic for solid, intellectually sound points of view.
Sure. Yeah.
And once that trust is betrayed by literally selling out the audience, saying, hey guys, I'm going to promote this thing here on my channel that you come to for sound intellectual argument. By the way, this is a great product. You need to buy it. And not even doing it like the classic style of, like, I'm going to leave it till the end of the video and say, and by the way, Loot Crate is fucking awesome. Once that trust, that intellectual trust, has been betrayed, it does not come back, and it should not come back. And Carl completely missed the fucking he missed the boat on that one.
I wish I could talk to him. Like, just
best
one
of luck.
conversation.
You know what, dude? He doesn't even talk to me anymore unless he thinks I'm insulting him.
Yeah, you know, like just one small conversation, so I could just be like, hey man, what kind of fags do you smoke, man? I need some advice, bro. I can.
Motherfucker needs to be quitting.
Start making fun of him in your videos as Magog.
I did one where, like, I was like, I like this Sargon of Akkad, and it put up his, you know, the statue with the big fucking hole in the eye, and I was like, oh god, and then I was like, I'll fix it, and I put an eye patch on this, and I love Magog.
Oh, you should have called him Sargon of Magog, man.
Somebody asked you if you sell those.
Yeah, and then somebody on Twitter was like, I want to buy one. Do you sell the eye patches that say I heart Magog? It's like, now I have to make eye patches.
You should make them. You got money right there.
Don't fall for the poison in the well thing where you end up with boxes of eye patches.
Yeah, if you want to make eye patches work, you really got to really make it work like I do. I put them on for a fucking stream when I've got a sty in my eye. Everyone's like, the eye patch goes on and the truth comes out. Like, it's the same character, man. It's just got an eye patch on its face.
I'd make those eye patches, but I honestly don't know how many one-eyed fans I have.
No, you don't need them. They'll just walk around and bump into shit without the stuff.
400 something fans, probably none.
Right.
I know one in Florida, man. But he's kind of in jail right now.
Oh my God, you started up a couple months ago, you said?
January 15th was my first video. Yeah.
Okay, and how many subscribers are you at now, if I might ask?
415, I think.
That's not bad for a new channel, dude. Honestly, I mean, like, if you like making content, just like keep fucking grinding at it, and they will come. And the thing is, too, is as long as you remain honest. Like, I think maybe once I've had. No, I mean, honest with yourself. Like, you express your actual positions, however you do it. Yeah, I mean, as long as you fucking, as long as you don't start like pandering, right? So, like, oh well, before I comment on this issue, I'm gonna see what does Kraut think? What does Sargon think? Oh God, what does Undoom think? Before just fuck all their opinions, fuck everyone's opinion but your own. As long as you do that, like, you'll find, if you attract an audience, they will be there for that. Because I've got alt-right. Here's the thing. I am a liberal, Jewish, former labor organizer. I think white nationalism is one of the absolute dumbest shit fucking ideas I've heard. And one question I ask them, and they can never answer, is who's more deserving of the U.S., the white nationalist blogger or the black Marine? And then it's just a bundle of fuck yous. But the thing is like, I have alt-right followers, like subscribers, even alt-right patrons. because it's like, I don't even agree with you. I just love the way you articulate the argument, and you never fucking waver on your principles. That's what people respect. And you keep to that, you won't, don't be, basically it's the golden rule. It's the Jim Jeffries summation of what the 10 Commandments ought to be. The whole Bible, it ought to just read one sentence. Try not to be a cunt.
Yeah, sure. At the same time, though, there's also the opposite side of it. There's got to be a balance. There's not backing away from your values. And then there's also, on the other end, the willingness to concede when you're wrong.
Sure, yeah, and I have that by nature, but the whole point of my channel was to create a persona that basically kind of rises me above having to fucking be to like answer for myself. It's like, if you take me seriously, I'm dressed like a fucking drunk wizard.
Oh yeah.
No,
there's a little bit of leeway there, right? For any of us who use personas.
Yeah, and it kind of allows me to just kind of shit, because I don't even like your Wiz, your shit's like really informative and thought out, and you do a lot of research, I'm sure. Me, I'm just like, what can I turn? I'm gonna call that person a poo head. That's my level of comedy,
Yeah, Magog's the type of guy.
You're retarded.
So it allows me at least a little leeway to be honest with myself, because I'm not taking myself too seriously, And that's just the way I do things. It's nothing against more informative channels like Sargon Vernaculus.
Yeah, but I love Bearing. I fucking love Bearing, and I love his content, right? But consider, look at the average Bearing video, about maybe 4 or 5 minutes, right? And most of that is usually filled up by whatever he's responding to, or whatever clips of Tim Demotivator he felt like clipping in, right? Bearing's videos, they're funny. They're not exceptionally intellectually cutting. They're meant to just be funny. Yeah, they're meant to just be funny. And to be honest,
Bearing's got videos here and there where he'll actually take something apart.
Yeah, he's capable of that. Yeah, but he knows what
responses to clips of what the other guys say.
It's kind of like Undoomed.
Though. Entertains people. Though.
Yeah, he's like Undoomed though. To him, he's doing it because it's fun. He's not trying to change any minds. He's not trying to enlighten anyone. He's just having fun. And to be honest, he's a lazy cunt, because his videos. let's be honest. His videos. It's mostly like he spends more time editing than he does writing and recording, because it's just like, so this cunt I found the other day put this video out with a bunch of little cucks saying a bunch of feminist shit, and then it's just like 2.5 minutes of that.
Yeah,
and it goes back,
Jesus fucking Christ, Wiz,
dickheads.
Would you be
outro
lines for me?
Huh?
Would you be willing to record a couple lines for me?
Depends on what they are.
I'll DM you about it. I don't want to.
Okay.
When did this live stream turn into Fiverr?
When did this live stream turn into the casting couch? Take your pants off, bitch.
If Schmeckel's asking you to record some lines, do not be surprised if he's going to ask you to read the 14 words.
This is gonna be this fucking fan fiction erotica shit. He's like, there's a lot of dialogue I'd really like you to read. Can you read this one as Bearing and this one as Kraut? And when you say the word plunge and ass, can you really emphasize those ones?
Oh, so you've already read it.
Wait. Schmeckle, have you asked all these fellas the question?
Oh fuck, we have new cunts here.
We have take fingers in your butt.
The question.
I want to read erotica with the Magog voice, Just,
all right, so
then he thrust his quivering member into
Wiz have answered the question. I know the second two haven't.
Okay.
Huh?
All right, so you have a choice, and you have to pick one.
All right.
There's no backing out of this. You are fucking bound to do this.
Hold on, let me hold on before you ask me, because I know this might take some time. I gotta run and get something real quick. Okay?
Oh, for the love of shit!
Yeah, give me 1 second.
I gotta go take a piss, so I'll be right back.
We can't discriminate. We've never had a Southern guy on before, I don't think.
I beg your pardon.
Hold on. Fuck you.
Fuck you.
I've been here like the last 4 weeks.
Well, you don't sound like you're from the South.
Okay.
You sound,
you have that drawl going on.
How dare you accent shame him?
Thank you.
Well, Jesus fucking Christ, you can tell who the fucking Canadians in the stream are.
I just love the fact that we have
Tell who the
3.
fucking Southerners are.
Well, there are 3 more viewers than there are participants in this hangout, so I love that.
Because there's more tits. I told you.
Oh no, I don't mean we have 3 more than we had
That was
before.
a bad.
Yeah, I'm talking total numbers. There are a total of 3 more people watching the stream than there are in the stream, which could mean that there are only 3 people who are not in the stream who are actually watching it.
It just went down one. Now there's only 2.
Garbage.
Listen, I'm just saying. I kind of feel like I'm slumming it here. I'm the amazing. Fuck, I mean, the Wizard of Cause. Who are you?
I mean, if you feel bad about it, you can always tweet out the hangout.
No, wait, no. If I feel bad about it, I can actually stop watching the thing. That way, you get some real numbers, boy. Just tweet out the hangout.
The reason we got you here was actually for the views. I'll be quite honest. Before Wrath said, "Hey, I can get Wizard of Cause,"
I know you rolled your eyes and like,
I'd
oh
heard of
God.
you, but I'd never watched.
He's gonna
him.
drink a bottle of Crown Royal on the thing and then wake up to a dead hangout link that he's still got open for some reason again.
Wouldn't
That's
be the
happened a
first
few
time
times, by
someone
the way.
passed out on this stream.
No, I've done that a few times. Holy shit! No, I'm not even joking. Fuck.
That's
I mean,
fantastic.
yeah, in the last 6 months, I know I've done that. I blacked out on one stream. I was on with Sargon where I apparently got so drunk I was just yelling at him, and then I forget. I think the other one was Vernaculus. No, no, it was with Jeff Holiday. Yeah, I legit woke up at like 7 in the morning, and I'm like, I moved them
when you were on with Jeff and the guys from Poisoning the Well.
No, I didn't black out during that one. I remember that one. That was fun. But no, there was actually wait, no, was that the? See, that's how bad it was. That would have been it.
And then we stopped hearing from you.
Yep. Okay. Yeah, that would have been it. That was it. I was with Jeff, and that was Poisoning the Well. Because the next morning, I legit woke up at my desk, and I like moved my mouse and hit the enter key, and I just went into sleep mode, and there, sure as shit, Chrome's open, and I've got this like Hangout link, like this is like the Hangout
This
is ended.
hangout has ended.
When did that
happen? You drunk.
All right. Well, I have returned. Sorry about that. It was an emergency.
All right. So the question.
All right, hit it.
You got to choose one. You got to pick one. You got to stick your dick inside of one. Lacey Green or Anita Sarkeesian. No protection allowed. Go.
Lazy.
Jesus fucking Christ, you have no fucking taste.
I love that Lacey.
Answer the question before you pull the trigger. Answer the question. Answer the question.
Lacey Green or Anita Sarkeesian. No, and it's not a stolen dick.
No,
I can't use your dick and fail your pushing.
No.
Damn.
Isn't as hawkish either.
Lacey Green or Anita Sarkeesian.
Just think of them DSLs, dude.
Do you think Anita would be a good fuck?
No.
I think honestly, I would choose Anita simply because Lacey ruined it by talking.
Well, but think about this though. Lacey likes to think she's a sex expert, right? Whereas Anita just thinks like any room she's in with a male is like it's Auschwitz for her.
Yeah, but that's my point exactly though. I would go with Anita because I'm less likely to catch something that'll make my dick turn.
No. Here's the thing. Lacey, I said, think she's a sex expert. So it'd be interesting to watch her sort of flop and flail around thinking she's got some kinky Kama Sutra move where it's just actually her having a spasm.
No, I'm sorry.
Can you take her to town?
Expert.
This is the thing though. No, this is the thing though. It's like, you like Lacey, you could turn her over and like tell her like, listen, it's been shown that, butt stuff can feel exceptionally intimate. Whereas Anita would just be like, never. Why do you even have that thing out around us? We'll just do it like they did in Demolition Man.
Yeah, but her. But
sex is oppression.
You're roboting, man.
You all now have herpes.
Your entire fist.
Hey, but Lacey Green
in the past said it was spirit.
Anita Sarkeesian ruins things that I love.
But I don't
let it be dick. This woman loves dick so much she doesn't want Anita anywhere near it.
But isn't it like the religious thing where Anita acts like she hates dicks, but she could be probably like the kinkiest one out of them?
Listen, I've been enough of a fucking slut in my day to know different looks and different eyes, and I'll tell you this: when Lacey is begging for good dick, whereas Anita genuinely hates the idea.
That's right.
Unless she's pegging or something.
And that is why I picked Anita.
But that's
Ooh.
but yeah.
Yeah, but see, I like enjoying my sex, even if the person I'm having sex with is kind of retarded about it. You know, that's why I went with Lacey, because Lacey's like, I'm an expert at blowjobs. Her teeth are wonderful. No, they're not. They're not. But you know what's glorious? You know what's glorious?
You could try.
Your esophagus.
My thing with Lacey is I think her hairiness would kill my boner. It'd be like playing pool with the length of the rope.
For me, her armpit hair and the fact that she's chubby.
I just think like with
I don't mind that so
Anita,
much. I like my. Sometimes you got to go hog rolling.
with Anita, there
I
would
like
there would be no
where if
wetness.
I fall down on top
Exactly.
of her, she dies.
No, failure hit the nail on the fucking head here. Here's the thing: if I want to dip my dick into a sleeve of cardboard wrapped in fucking sandpaper, I can do that at home. I don't need Anita Sarkeesian to help me.
Yes,
It's fucking, yeah, it's like the lost Indiana Jones film that never got put into production because there was just too much dust in the cave, you know.
I would watch every minute of that fucking movie. Indiana Jones and the feminist cunt.
So Monday Matt is on Twitter trying to be. He says the entertainment industry destroys more lives.
I'll invite him. I'll invite him right now.
There's no space.
Do it up.
Can he do?
I mean, there's no space.
You actually
There should be. No, there's 9 of us in here.
Yeah,
You could fit 10 into a hangout.
yeah, you can fit 10.
Fucking amateurs. God damn it.
Yeah,
God damn it.
rat's not coming.
Stick that extra inch in there.
I love the artwork for your avatar too. Like the giant horn thing, like that totally reminds me of the fucking Tim Curry's Darkness from Legend. Like the big fucking.
I think it was whoever. I think it might have been like the basis for it, for the artist. I'm honestly, I mean, like, you ever seen Casually Explained? Oh my god, you want to fun? And this is like, it's non-political or anything. Just a good, funny YouTube channel, Casually Explained. The guy, it's just like, all right, Casually Explained body language. So yeah, sometimes you're out with a girl and you're really not sure, how things are going. So body language is really important here. Now, one thing is that eye contact is really important. So if we're out to dinner, sometimes I'll make a little fort out of menus just to see if she topples it over so we can have eye contact. That way I know she's really into it. Now, it's like he's got one thing, like the three steps to getting to know a person. The first 2 are like him satirically going after one thing, and he's like, and
one does kind of make sense though.
But no, he's like, yeah, well, the third
menus, so like she'll knock it down so you can know if she's interested. It's kind of like how I'll pin a woman down and cover her mouth to see if she's really not consenting.
And if she stops moving after a while,
enough, then you know.
Like, if I make sure she can't breathe and then she stops moving after a while, I know that at one point she was at least alive.
I feel
exactly.
As long as she's still warm, it's still good.
I feel that if a woman collapses after chloroform, it's consent.
Okay, here we go.
Can you spell this right for me?
I just we teach people how to rape on a cunt stream.
I just want to make sure cunt stream has no ambitions to ever monetize any videos.
They are all monetized, and somehow none of them have been demonetized. I was not joking when I said this is the second time.
So chloroform jokes brought to you by Ford.
Although I do want to stress,
our trunks are the biggest.
My dudes, I do want to stress very heavily that all the content involving rape is brought to you by Tenga Eggs. Tenga Eggs, go fuck yourself.
Tenga Eggs, stopping rape, slightly less.
And I would just like to specify.
Oh my god, you're fucking roboted.
So bad.
You're crackling up, man. You're crackling up.
I tried warning him.
All of these terrible opinions are care of the cunt stream, not care of any of our guests.
All right, press F5, dude.
Except for Simone.
Press fucking F5 already.
Oh.
What does F5 do?
There we go. No, it's just refreshing him. He'll be back and won't be roboting.
Yeah.
No,
Is that what it
I
was?
really really do want to push though. If anyone hasn't seen them or heard them, go to Casually Explained, because like he's got a great one where it's the 3 steps of getting to know a person. The first 2 are obvious things, but he makes great jokes, and he's like, so then we get to the 3rd step, and that's fucking it all up. That can take anywhere between 15 minutes and 25 years. So just kind of pace yourself. It'll happen. Don't worry.
Are you still roboting, man?
Audible now.
Oh, that's fucking
Yes,
terrible.
you
man.
are.
Wonderful.
I mean, as audible as you can be.
No, you're not roboting. It's just your voice is still terrible.
Yeah.
I guess
Oh,
I'm the only one who doesn't use an avatar in this whole fucking
Right.
live stream.
I show my face. I just didn't feel like being on fucking camera.
Magog, you
Okay.
should totally grow out your hair. You look like TJ.
I know. We were talking about that earlier. Yeah.
25%
harsh.
So,
No, I think that's a bit of a stretch.
my God.
Magog,
Hold on.
please don't
You-
kill yourself.
I
I
think
Is
love
she
that's-
talking to me?
I think that's a bit of a stretch there, Magog.
I'm
Magog,
heading out this
Magog, do
real quick.
you have a banana in your?
I am much more handsome. Okay.
Well, wait, do your impression of the Amazing Atheist.
You do kind of look like him. You're a little
I do a
thinner.
bit, yeah.
And I
To be
don't
honest,
see
you look
your-
like a Confederate soldier.
Have you put a banana up your ass lately?
I'll buy you a banana.
I don't know what that fucking means.
Oh my God, really?
No, he looks more like a Confederate congressman, I think.
Magog, I'll send you a really sexy porn video.
Yeah,
The banana's in it. I'll send you a link.
Wait.
Yes.
Magog, say,
Piece of fuck.
hi, the Amazing Atheist. I'm everybody. And then laugh like it was really clever.
Who the
Wait,
fuck
that's a
is
joke?
Yeah, he's done it like 9 times in videos.
Magog.
Hey, Magog. You can't even get my name right. Here I'm trying to be your friend.
What the fuck did I call you?
Magog.
Magog?
Y before the G. I'm joking.
Oh,
I'm fucking
fuck,
I'm
cunt.
fucking with you. Send the banana porn.
Everything
Go ahead.
wrong.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, please. You know what? We need
I
Magog's
can't
live
say
reaction to the banana
Magog.
porn.
Magog.
No. If you guys show me something fucked up, I'm gonna show you something fucked up. So let's just.
Oh, do it. Do it.
Here you go.
Oh, fuck, he's gonna
Here.
out his little micro dick.
Because I will pull
Did it
up
have
the
a
worst
word
thing.
on the side
I will
somehow
pull-
bigger than the dick itself.
X videos.
In
It's
the
not-
side chat, Magog. In the side
Look,
chat. We
I-
need to see your reaction to it. So,
I've seen maggots and prolapses, so I don't know what you're gonna fucking show me.
Schmeckle, present him. Present.
Okay, you want me to present Magog? Should
Yeah.
I put up the pictures from last week or from the week before?
What the fuck are you talking about, man? I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
I haven't.
This couldn't possibly disturb me more than the fucking walls fall out video. I'm sorry.
It might. It just might.
All right, I'm pushing play.
This is like those 2 girls, 1 cup YouTube react videos.
Yeah, it is.
That guy looks like TJ. The fuck? What is he doing?
This came.
Oh, we've lost him, you guys.
Oh, come on.
I'm sorry, guys. You
Something.
the same fucking scenario. That's not an unreasonable response.
And you know what? I am now officially the only one that's never seen that video.
What the fuck is he even doing? Is he pouring boiling water on his
It's
cock?
like oil.
No, wait till you get to the end, cunt.
All right, I'm as we've reached this juncture apparently, but I've also got some things I need to tend to and get to bed, so I'm gonna bounce.
I
thanks for
respect
coming.
that, Wiz. I respect that Wiz does.
Maybe
Yeah,
before you go, you can send a link out to Monday, Matt.
I already did.
All right.
It was good having you, Wizard. You're
Nice to
welcome
meet
by
you.
whenever the fuck you decide to slum it again.
Yeah,
Whiz man.
I
It's
mean,
nice barely meeting you.
Sometimes you gotta just speak to some people you'll probably never meet in person and encounter online occasionally and shitpost with them, and then
Sometimes
ultimately always come back.
Need hookers.
Always
Thank
come back. EJ fitting a fucking banana up his ass.
Every time.
Why the
Every
milk, though?
time. That's what the internet was invented for. Fuck bad videos. Fuck otters. It's about a fat guy stuffing a banana up his ass
really
and bragging
is.
about his subscriber count. All right?
Somebody probably picked up banana right
Magog,
there.
honestly, Magog, grow your hair out.
Warehouse.
Oh my god.
Grow your hair out, and you can legit be. Yeah, look,
He's bleeding. He's bleeding.
He's hard. He's hard. He's hard. All right.
Done.
All right.
Teacher,
I'm not the only one touching myself on stream.
Somebody fucking produce employee probably put that banana on the fucking shelves and shit. Thinking,
all right. Good.
I can't wait to get home
Good
and
night.
masturbate.
Good night, veggie.
Take it easy, Wizard.
Nice to meet you, man.
Good chatting with you.
Thanks for stopping by.
Peace out.
The fuck is wrong with
This
you?
is the
Who the hell
American.
says? Is that really him or is this? Just,
Yes, it's actually
That's really
him.
him.
It's actually him.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, no, that's actually TJ. He's admitted it.
Yes.
Why the fuck?
There's
Who
no
discovered this?
I actually
the atheist.
I know a little bit
Some
about
cam girl trolled him into it.
It was a girlfriend.
I actually know where it came from. I was
He
around
found
when it
himself a
happened.
lady on the internet, and she said, "I'll give you free titty pics if you stick a frozen banana up your ass." And
No,
he
it was like a girl.
Well, I ain't never seen no titties before, so I'll let you. I'll do it. I'll oblige. And then he's been like, it took a couple hours to freeze the banana. He kind of just like read books and get posted for a
This is
bit.
an elaborate story.
And then he lubed that motherfucker up and shoved it up his bumhole.
Alrighty. Well,
Missy.
I gotta give him props for not having any fucking shame.
Well,
he has to feel shame for this. There's no way you could not.
Yeah.
he
I definitely
shirt off in videos. That cunt has no shame.
This video was meant for a girlfriend of his.
Yes, that's what I was saying.
I will explain
Jesus
it off
fucking
air
Christ,
only
really?
I
And he was like, "Hey, this will get you hot."
I know some background to that, but I'm worried about the wrong people finding it going, I know who she is.
Okay, I know. Don't say anything live if you
I'm not gonna.
don't want to. But I expect some messages after this.
You ever seen those videos where people smoke cigarettes out of their asses?
That's not.
Wait.
Thank you, failure. Appreciate it, brother.
Did he actually ruin that cigarette for you?
Fuck's
No,
sake.
it's a
Oh my
fucking
god,
smoke.
dude.
He's gonna light it up.
Fucking
and smoke it
asshole cigarette.
Was there like that Cuban cigar asshole porn?
I've seen a girl like there was once a website. It ain't around anymore, I don't think, but there was once a website called wiffleballfuckers.com.
Sounds about right.
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
are you talking about the chicks who could like spit them out?
Yeah, the pop.
Oh.
Yeah, wiffle ball.
I can understand that. It's the inhaling through the asshole that's confusing me.
Yeah, that would. I'm literally down to my last cigarette, by the way.
Connect
So.
to my asshole.
Yeah, I'm literally down to my last cigarette, so I don't know what to do after this.
I feel very sad for you.
Don't worry,
I
if
have
you
a
stick
carton.
around till the after stream, I'll whip something out. You can pretend you're smoking it. It'll get at least one of us off.
Do me a favor, man. Never make jokes again.
So I was at a strip club one time, and me and my lesbian friend, we were just watching as this blonde chick was like dancing in front of these guys, and they had one Corona left in their bucket of beer. She squats down,
Oh no.
goes up her ass.
Oh.
She stands up. It's lodged in there pretty well, yeah. So she pulls it out, gives it to the guy. He chugs it.
Oh.
Wait, like just the tip went in there, or everything went in there?
It was lodged in there pretty good.
Like half in, half out.
And you saw the bottom of the bottle still sticking out. So
Wait, did she like bend over to get the stuff in her ass?
she squatted right onto. I don't think it's the first time she's done this. Is all I'm saying.
It's like a party trick.
Yeah, what kind of fucking party?
I never had anything that bad. We were at a strip club, and when my buddy was in the bathroom, a stripper squatted right on his bottle, but at least it was in her puss, not her asshole.
No,
But when he got back, he drank the shit.
I got a bad one. We took this one kid. He just turned 21. It was his birthday. We were in the Air Force. We went to a strip club. We're all celebrating. He's like, "Yeah, you're 21, woo!" You know, and this nasty fucking stripper, because this is a shitty fucking strip club in Missouri. And she's up there dancing, all fucking doing her thing, you know, doing her thing. And we're like, "It's his birthday." And she goes, "It's your birthday?" And he's like, "Yeah." And he's all like this, like staring at them titties. And she sticks her fucking finger in her pussy and goes, whoop, right in his mouth.
Oh,
God.
Happy birthday, here's herpes.
Yeah.
That's assault. That is assault.
I hope he's still alive.
Yeah, that happened. And then like we were like, drink the alcohol, the highest rate, kill the germs. Kill the germs.
Yeah, you're about to get AIDS, buddy.
Oh, it was awful. That poor kid. And then he died.
No, seriously, he died though.
Yeah,
right?
AIDS.
Yeah, he got fucking AIDS. God.
No, I'm joking. He's all right. He did go get tested though, just to be sure, because that was a nasty. She had like a C-section scar, stretch marks. You know.
She wasn't even a good stripper.
You don't want face aid. That's the worst.
I mean, if it was Jessica Alba, fucking do it. Take the chance. But this bitch, no.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry. With Jessica Alba, even do it. Take the chance, but then go
get tested afterwards.
Yeah.
So I went to one strip club that was kind of strange. Like, so the girls would go on stage, strip down, and everything. That would be normal.
That's what strippers do. Yeah.
But you know how like normally you have the strippers walking around and you know they'll like normally be like in a little bikini or something.
Yeah.
No, they were in like full like dress gowns, fucking walking around.
So fancy.
Oh, it's like classy.
Yeah.
Except they were all cheap like gowns and shit.
Sure. Yeah. You don't want cum on them.
Like lace or like silk. Like
no jisms on my good gown.
Yeah.
You know, this is what sucks about Arkansas, the strip clubs here, because we live in the Bible Belt.
Oh,
And so, like, there's laws. Like, you can't even get a lap dance nude. Like, they have to wear the bikini when you get a lap dance. They can only be topless on stage, and they have to wear pasties.
Oh.
So they're not even.
You were no nipple showing, and that's what is the point?
You need to come down to Miami. They fucking bend over and show you their asshole.
Yeah, right? Like, fuck yeah. I went to European strip clubs, and there's like these bitches walking around naked. And I was in this one strip club in Germany, and we should have been in there. And when two Russian guys come up to you, and one of them's missing a fucking finger, and they're all tatted out, and they tell you to do coke off a stripper's ass, you fucking do coke off a stripper's ass. You don't question it when they're like, "We like you. You do coke." Yes, sir.
Okay.
Would you like a bump?
on the bright side, at least they said you do coke and not you do cock.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah, that motherfucker straight up look like some fucking history of violence motherfuckers. Yeah.
Oh, Hack, have you ever been in a male strip club before?
Yes.
No.
Oh, really?
I've seen. What was it?
I've seen Magic Mike. Does that count?
No.
Yeah, me and my friends got drunk and we like watched Magic Mike, but like we skimmed through it, like fast forwarded because the story sucked, and we wanted to see the dance scenes, and they're so fucking funny. But seriously, it's like not even appealing at all. Like I don't know if it's for like middle-aged like soccer moms to get off to, but we were just laughing our asses off as they were like humping the ground and shit.
You know what's sad? I watched a movie. I watched a movie just because I'm a wrestling fan and Kevin Nash was in it.
Yeah.
I did not watch those movies because they have naked men. What do you want from me?
No, they're not even naked.
You should have just said it
there's no
threatens
cock.
your masculinity a little bit.
Yes, it threatens my.
Oh, fuck, I hate this story. Again, meet the woman that makes wolf scarves out of her vagina. Fucking.
Ain't that like 4 years old? Like, that's a fucking old-ass story.
But it's a horror show every time you see it. I don't know why. It's fresh every time.
Fresh.
Yeah.
Not the scarf. It's pretty
manky, yeah.
Yeah, man, fucking ugh. And then there was that woman who did art with her like period blood.
No, there's a lot of those.
Yeah, you know that's just. And I'm in the art world because that's what I'm going to school for. I'm an illustrator and designer. I'm an artist. But man, I kind of hate it because I'm like the
They
only
let
guy.
janitors do art.
Yeah.
Well, who need somebody needs to put all the cocks on the bathroom stalls.
Right?
It's funny you say that because, I mean, I never went to art school because that's a fucking waste of time. But all my friends who did, I asked them, I was like, do people like use like shit and like period blood and crap for their art? And they're like, no, like you fail if you do that. So I don't know why they would do that.
They're just trying to be fucking edgy and get attention because the art world is really pretentious.
Allow me to free bleed on your leg, sir.
Yeah, you know.
You should one up the mattress girl and just carry around a 4-poster like everywhere.
But
giant bed.
I fucking hate art. Like just the fact that there's a lot of people that just throw paint on a canvas and get thousands of dollars for it because some fucking rich douchebag is like, oh, it's artistic. No, he just threw a fucking bucket of brown paint onto the canvas and you bought it.
Yeah, some of that stuff is fucking stupid.
Yeah, not even that. I don't know, Museum of Modern Art or something, but there's like one exhibit that had like fucking, like just pebbles, like a collection of like fucking pebbles and shit. It's like not even like paint.
Yeah.
Honey, pebbles are just fucking shit you find in your backyard. You know?
Yeah. There's one guy I like, and one of his things got destroyed in Miami a couple years ago. But here's the thing, his like most famous old piece was 3 photographs. One of him holding a like ancient Chinese vase, it in the middle of the air, and then it cracked on the floor, and it pissed off a lot of people. And so like his next thing was in Miami, and he got like these 15 vases and colored them, and he had them on display. And this guy came in to like protest against the fact that guy got famous off that photograph, right? One of the vases that he ended up breaking was an ancient vase that the guy just colored over.
Oh.
But the whole display was worth like $1 million, and yeah.
This is why I support abortion.
Yeah,
Abort the gays.
I do a really nice art show here in Little Rock where I walk through the city center of Little Rock, randomly dragging my mop bucket around.
Is there blood on it? If there's no fucking blood on it, it's not
another
art.
thing I hate. Like you go into like art galleries, and like you'll see a box of Ajax on a pedestal.
Yeah,
and you're like, oh, did Magog forget his cleaning supplies?
I'm like Joe Dirt over here. Do you use the scrubbing bubbles? No, you don't have to. No.
I fucking love Joe Dirt, man.
but I've seen that shit. I've seen that shit as a part of an art exhibit. Like,
no, there was a troupe of people who would troll art exhibits, like modern, like contemporary art, and they'd go in there and they'd like set a shoe down, put a label in front of it, and then walk away.
Oh, people think it's
part of the show, like they're all walking around.
I fucking want to do that shit.
It's so fucking pretentious though, because
it's profound. Fuck you.
No. Like at art school, like for your projects and shit, you do your thing, but then you would have to do a presentation, and you would have to write like a fucking like a personal statement, being like, "This is what it means to me." I would just be like, "I drew it because I thought it looked cool."
No, now that you mentioned the shoes, like imagine just put 2 shoes in front of a paint and put the little label with like the description and everything.
Yeah.
So it looks like.
And then, while everybody's gathered around it, looking at it, trying to figure it out, you walk up and fucking, excuse me, and then put the shoes on and walk away.
When I was in art class back in high school, I was one of the more popular students, really good at what I did, And my art teacher asked me...
Was one of the more popular students.
The one who was actually going to make
a lie.
Well, hold on a second. is the key phrase here. My art teacher asked me, when you get out of high school, where do you want to go? You want to go in art college, that kind of stuff? And I said to her, straight to her face, no, I want to do comic books. fucking disowned me.
Oh.
Practically didn't say anything to me and gave me the most basic of marks. I'm like, and she took it like a personal slap to the face.
Oh, she was the whole. That's for little kids. Blah 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 blah.
Yeah,
absolutely.
My art
And
teacher.
because I'm still trying to convince Samaj to do an comic book with me.
Well.
Do it. It'll be filthy and wonderful.
Gotta make money.
It'll be terrible, awful, lewd, and probably banned from most social circles.
Do a webcomic. You don't even have to see each other.
Well, yeah, yeah. As like a marketing type person, yeah. Start off with like an easy like 4-panel webcomic thing, and build it up to see people even want to fucking invest because you don't want to waste so much time.
Better be a lot of dicks.
I have an artist here who is golden.
I know he's golden. But
I can use this cunt to the extreme.
I love that just by being on streams, he's drawn me for free twice.
I know.
Mostly for thumbnails, goddammit, woman.
I know,
And
but
some of those I got
still-
paid for.
Oh, fuck. Damn it.
I have like
Wait,
this.
I didn't have to pay, so it doesn't count.
It wasn't your money, so.
That's right.
So what's with the Venetian mask for you, Anonymous? Like, is it is that just the same picture you use, or?
She's terribly disfigured under.
I look like a fucking gargoyle under this mask, but no, I am actually on camera in my videos. I just hide my face.
But do you
He's anonymous.
Mask?
I'm anonymous.
you wear the mask when you're
I
on
do.
screen? Oh, let me get something real quick. I got this fucking wicked ass mask. You gotta get one of these.
No, if she
Don't
takes
forget the
off
banana.
I know, right? Like I think that this is like one of the. It's for a female, but I came across it and just had to buy it, so I don't wear it.
Oh,
Obviously.
you came across it?
Yeah, but
Oh, I don't want it then.
it's like laser, it's like laser cut. It's like laser cut metal.
Ooh.
Yeah. see?
Ooh. Oh yeah, I looked at some of those. But
Phantom of the Opera.
It doesn't hide enough of my face for me.
It holds the whole fucking side of your damn face.
Yeah, but the whole under eye on the other side.
Oh, the whole under
The whole
eye.
under eye. The actual mask that I wanted when I first started my channel, which explains the dragon banner, is actually a purple dragon, but the customized mask is like $600. So I still want it, and one of these fucking days I'ma get it. But
Come on.
Yeah, screw master too.
Just have a man buy it for you.
Yeah, master.
I'm engaged. He's not buying me that mask either.
Yeah, how fucking long have you been engaged, cunt?
A year almost.
Fucking year.
It's all your random.
Are you sure that is a real engagement, not just hey, if this slut thinks I'm engaged to her, she'll keep letting me stick it in.
I mean, we've been together for 5 years. So.
Yeah,
That's
5
depressing.
years.
Oh, that's fucking
The
depressing.
1 year of engagement. Before that, he probably promised.
I got her ring. Shut up.
Possible, excellent life type thing. Before that, it was probably just the whole, hey, I have a dick, and we met.
Oh my god.
Hey,
I'm looking in your eyes like you're trying to say these words. and it's so
No,
annoying.
I'm just describing how
What's
relationships.
going on there, Magog? What you got there?
Hey, I'm a single janitor.
The one janitor.
Wait. Magog, sorry, Magog.
There you go. Good boy.
Magog.
You're telling you, a man that looks like
Don
that, I'm
Phonics
single.
works for me.
Just
Sorry, what?
You're telling me you're single.
Yes, except for the voices in my head.
wait.
I may be schizophrenic, but at least I have each other.
By the way, man, you better hope your
You
YouTube
better know
personality
what
was the
my
one you
next
were looking
charity
for.
drive is.
you better hope your YouTube channel blows up before you fucking find somebody. Otherwise, all that shit on your wall is going in the fucking garbage.
Right? I ain't moving into this shit with all that black magic on the wall.
Set up.
I like that your future girlfriend's black.
No, very southern.
Everybody in Arkansas talks like that, I think.
Yeah.
Aunt Jemima.
So I'm gonna have to get off of here soon. So has anybody got any questions for me or anything?
Well,
I leave?
I've been watching a lot of In the Heat of the Night recently.
In the Heat of the Night.
Yeah, I never
we've
watched the
actually
show.
been going for like 2.5 hours. I'm gonna.
I think we should end it. Yeah.
But
end it
I've
soon
never watched
anyway.
the show, and
Everyone needs to,
it's so full of
ask
racism.
final questions for themselves, etc.
Well,
So
it was the
full
good
of
old
racism.
days. Good old days when they made racism.
Bubba.
Racism.
Like one of the guys was like, "I'm not gonna speak about this matter in front of a stranger."
But my hanging tree. What?
Oh.
But my hanging tree.
Fucked up.
All right, Cunt. So we'll start the traditional shilling. We'll start with Magog since he has to go. Say something about yourself, Cunt.
Well, Magog of Morskar, Crazy Drunk Wizard. Check out my fucking channel if anybody's actually watching this anymore.
Yeah.
You have a Patreon, Minds.com. And...
Yeah, I actually just started a Patreon, but I didn't tell anybody about it. And then all of a sudden I went over there and there was like 2 people all of a sudden. And I was like, oh my God.
Link in the side chat before you go anywhere.
Yeah, well, yeah, just my channel, my Patreon, Twitter, Minds. I got Minds too. It's all spelled the same, so Magog of Morskar. You can find me.
You know what's gonna suck is you're gonna have to like fucking register everything everywhere.
Yeah,
Because eventually someone's gonna take care of it.
to follow this guy.
Yeah, I hope not. Like, I really got to lock down magogofmorskar.com before someone steals that shit.
Get a fucking MySpace page and shit too.
Yeah, I've got a MySpace page, or not MySpace, Facebook. But who does MySpace anymore? Like, really?
I'm making
Hipsters.
a Magog MySpace page. I'm stealing it. I'm taking it right fucking now.
Thanks, Satan.
All right, now failure. Say something about yourself.
Oh, I'm a cunt. I also just I also just started a wrestling channel, so check it out. It's called The Wrestling with Failure.
And now, wait. Channel about wrestling, or do we get to see videos of you oiled up?
No, just about wrestling.
Aw.
Oh shit! I was gonna subscribe, but
So we could see your boy Pat like just kicking your ass.
my favorite thing is your boy Pat in that collaboration video SJW words when he went to cross his legs, he accidentally hurt his nuts.
and
Not gonna lie,
now everybody's favorite female YouTube user. Which one of the two of you is it? You're left in suspense, aren't you? No, it's obviously Hack. Anon's always here.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Wait, what?
This is the part where you say something about yourself. You got a YouTube channel, a Twitter. Do you use the internet's Hack?
Yeah, I do. I'm a talentless cunt with a cunt. That's all you need to know. I'm a whore.
I like it.
I'm a stream whore with no talent. Subscribe to me because I have tits.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but one of my favorite things I ever heard Louis C.K. say is a cunt fell out of another cunt.
That is very true. Was at hack_job. I
Not like job like you'd spell it if you were a proper person or hadn't shown up on Twitter late.
I was trying. I was trying to be like, what was it? I was trying to be sneaky about it, like hack job, but spelt wrong. Yeah. Okay. I do art. I do like animated GIFs. I'm really bad at it, but people think it's funny. So there you go. All right.
All right. Now we'll skip the bearded cunt. We already did him. Roman.
Oh, hey, I'm Roman. My channel is Roman Lives, arguably the worst channel on YouTube, even worse than Hack Jobs. Please subscribe out of pity, if nothing else.
You have to show your tits first.
I'm loving the accuracy in these little advertisements here.
Yes, but are you a janitor?
No, I schlep old geezers around for a living. There's not as much dignity.
But there's a lot more dick.
Oh, God. The dicks. Don't get me started.
All right, now the devil incarnate. So evil that he even just stole his fucking avatar from some emoticon. Go.
All right, my channel is at Satan Satire. It's a little bit of me being funny and a little bit of me being literally fucking Hitler. Follow me at Twitter at Satan Satire. I am fucking useless.
And a stream whore.
Yeah, he's in more streams than I am. That's
every stream I'm on, like I'm watching, I see him like join.
I get in everything.
Yeah, he's Failure's protege.
Failure was actually my first subscriber, so.
Oh, how cute.
That's meat keep.
I still have no good subscribers, but he was my first.
Hey, I subscribe to you. Fuck off.
Like I said, I still have no good subscribers.
I'm the motherfucking best.
I'm unsubscribing now.
All right.
I'm back down to 3. My temporary co-host with a vag.
Huh?
Not you this time, Hack.
You're not the only one with a vagina.
This time with Samaj.
The one that's still working, at least.
Yeah.
Aw.
It's true.
Yeah, hers got kind of ruined by the whole cancer thing.
Aw.
It seriously just looks like. Have you ever seen the Grand Canyon? It's not big like that. It's just kind of jagged like that.
Do you have an Arby's cunt? Was that what we're talking about?
I have a modern art cunt, okay?
She has the meats.
It's all pointy and jagged.
Yeah, you used to get cunts that looked like classical art. Now you get kind of an abstract look.
It's only beautiful because rich people say it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Sort of like a George O'Keeffe, Hieronymus Bosch.
Look, there's only 3 things that are important about this whole thing. Does it still smell like fish? Are you a squirter? And can you still have babies?
No, and yes. Fuck.
Wait, was that in order? You smell like fish. Something. Can you squirt? Squirting is pee.
No, it isn't.
No, it's not. It is mostly water with a little bit of ejaculate and some pee.
What was that?
It is also known as the nectar of the gods.
Yes, it is.
You just want to drink a glass of it, don't you?
Second best only to Jägermeister.
Fuck do you think I've been drinking all night?
Confirmed. You do drink alcohol.
Just so you know, Magog, we're still live for that comment.
Oh.
Grandma is gonna call you.
Yeah.
All right,
now I'm gonna get letters.
My lesser co-host, but he showed up tonight and Wrath didn't, so we'll pretend he's the good one.
Absolutely. Well, you're wasting your time if you're typing in the letters SEMAJZ on a search engine, social media, internet browser, whatever. But considering that you probably already did do that, you might as well hit the like and subscribe.
Okay.
And there you go. That was all our fucking guests. This was a fucking cunt stream. I'm Schmeckle.
He's a cunt.
Just, enjoy your night. Don't
die.
Subscribe to any of us.